Your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you. Landon Schmidt producing. We're Sports Time, and we're with you for the next 3 hours on this Thursday afternoon. As first round underway in the NCAA tournament, some really fun games last night in Dayton that really got us ready as an appetizer for all the action today. A handful of finals already in the books, a couple of upsets already in the books, 2 games going on right now, 2 about to get started. So a lot of basketball action to discuss on the college side, the NBA side. The Grizzlies were in action last night. They got a win over the Denver Nuggets. We'll talk about that. We'll talk some NBA a little bit later with Keith Smith as well. So a lot of hoops to discuss this afternoon with all of the madness of March here.
It is, Bryant. Good afternoon. And boy, how can you not be having a good day on one of the great sports days of the year? And if you're like me and you have Wisconsin in the Sweet 16, you've got a lot of red checks.
Yeah, it's not
already
not a good start
on your bracket.
Not a great
Big
start.
Ten's taking 2 right to the chops already today, with the Buckeyes going down to TCU 66-64 and just going final. High Point, the Panthers, 31-win High Point. Tubby Smith's alma mater. They beat Wisconsin 83-82. And Bryant, quick look at the box score, and I mean, if you covered up the final score and you didn't know who was winning, and you just looked at these and had somebody that knew anything about basketball tell me who won, it's the anatomy of the upset. Only 6 turnovers for High Point and 15 made threes.
Yeah, it's what you have to do to win these games. And High Point, all they've really done this season is win. They haven't lost since early January. Now back-to-back seasons where they entered the NCAA tournament on a 14-game winning streak. So this is a really good program that has had a lot of success now under Flynn Clayman, who took over after Alan Huss left to be the coach in waiting at Creighton. So they've put together some really nice coaches and some really nice teams. And last year it was a first-round exit against Purdue, but now they get the big win over Wisconsin, and felt like it was going to be a close game. I thought the veteran guards for Wisconsin were just going to get them over that hump.
I did too.
But it was a really, really fun game, and this is a really good High Point team. Have really enjoyed watching them over the last couple of years, and felt like they could be a team that could put a team on an opposing team on upset watch, and here they are today doing it.
Here they are, and you know who else really, really enjoyed the High Point win over Wisconsin at the Moda Center in Portland?
The Arkansas Razorbacks.
The Arkansas Razorbacks. They sure did. They're getting ready to tip right now for their game against Hawaii. The other 2 finals, Nebraska, first ever NCAA tournament win for the Cornhuskers. They opened up a can on Troy, 76-47, and took over Oklahoma City. That crowd, that reaction, our friend Clayton Collier that does TV sports in Omaha, he tweeted out he had never before seen a takeover of a building out at NCAA tournament sites. And he was around for a lot of Tiger March Madness trips. Nebraska, they win easily 76-47. And Louisville hangs on, dang them. U of L hangs on 83-79 over South Florida. It was all Louisville, but a spirited comeback falling just short for Brian Hodgson's team in the second half for USF. But they fought hard, but Louisville, without Michael Brown, they still were able to win. And they move on, but it wasn't easy in Buffalo for U of L.
No, it wasn't. It was really easy early, and that's what gave them the upper hand to
early.
hold
It was
on
easy.
at the end of the game. But everyone talking about going into this game about Mikel Brown being out, and that was going to be a huge miss for Louis. He's a great player. He's going to be a top 10, top 5 pick, but they've played without him. I mean, he's been in and out the lineup all season long. He's only played 21 games, so this Louisville team knows how to play without him. I saw a stat up yesterday about their record without him. They're something like 8-7 or 8-6, 7-6, something around that. But this team has played without him. They have found ways to win in a really good conference without him. And look, I think South Florida was a really good team, had a phenomenal season. But this wasn't like this was the leading scorer that led the team with 30 points every single game that they took away. They've won without him, and so they were able to look really good with him out. But yeah, South Florida, a really, really nice end of the game for them to come back and make that one interesting. It was just too little, too late. They struggled to shoot the ball from deep. in that game, but did make it interesting on the defensive end, had 15 steals to make it a little ugly there late for Louisville. So, really fun season for USF, and now we'll see what happens with Brian Hodgson as he has some decisions to make. He didn't really want to get into it before the game at their press conference yesterday about what he was going to do after the season, but now that the season's come to an end, we know USF's going to put together a really nice package for him. He's got some prospects out there as well, so decision time for Hodgson. We'll see if he sticks around in the American.
Yeah, and if he stays, good luck for him scheduling next year, because everybody's on blast with South Florida and Hodgson. Nobody's going to want to schedule and play him in November and December. And Bryant, we come on there. It's just at halftime, but we are 20 minutes away from, unless you live in Durham, Soho, or you're on Wall Street, we're all Saints. Go Sienna.
Yeah, it's a good Sienna team. They have a really, really good coach that I like, Jerry McNamara, who has done a really nice job with this team. It's halftime. I still expect Duke to win. It's not going to be, I don't know what the spread was before the game started. Certainly not going to be by that margin, but I do think that Duke gets to the locker room, make some adjustments, come out and get this win, as ugly as it might be. But shout out to Sienna. They're a fun team and certainly getting a lot of people excited on this Thursday afternoon.
The Dukies trail by 11, 43-32, but the all-important second half on the way. Vanderbilt, they lead at halftime 38-35 over McNeese. They were behind most of that first half and really scrambled to get back ahead. Mentioned TCU over Ohio State, and that one of the two losses already this afternoon for the Big Ten. It was brutal for the ACC in Dayton.
Yeah, it was, and last night was really, really fun. I know Miami, Ohio had a great night with that win, 89-79. Just a really impressive showing for them. The three-point shooting was incredible. B.J. Edwards, who everyone thought would be back for this game in Dayton, he didn't play for SMU, and that was a huge miss for them. Boopie Miller finished with 15, but he really struggled, especially early in that game, to get going. But you look at Miami, you talk about those ways to win. 16 for 41 from three, 4 turnovers as a team for Miami. So they got the big win, and now no matter what happens against Tennessee, they can say they were undefeated in the regular season. They beat a power conference team in the postseason. Sure, they proved a lot of people wrong, and so it was really fun to watch that. The game before that was just as good, if not better, between Prairie View and Lehigh. Lehigh was awesome in the first half, and then Prairie View in the second half put up 40 points. Looked really, really good. It was really the last 6 or 7 minutes of that first half. Prairie View started turning it around. Really played some nice defense and then took over in the second half. Those two games last night in Dayton were awesome.
Dayton was.
Yeah.
If you'd been there the last 2 nights, you saw some fun games.
You did. And I don't want to have to rank them because both were really good. But I'd say last night for me was a lot more entertaining than the first game. But those two games were really fun with two late game enders. So Dayton was a nice appetizer for us to get into this first round. And now Thursday is proven just as good as any of those days.
It never fails, does it? This tournament always makes it work. And so right now on a 1 to 10 scale, with 10 being just thermonuclear war meltdown on March Madness, where do you put it on the Richter scale? Just right now at 308 with the early games that have been played. Where are we?
I'm really not as crazy as I've seen some people's reactions to these games. Obviously, the High Point upset makes things interesting, but other than that,
so it's just kind of percolating along for you, huh?
I think it's like a 5 right now.
Okay, I was 7.
Okay,
we'll split the difference.
I would
Landon,
say
you want to go with
5.
6, and we all split the difference?
There you go. We can be 5, 6, 7.
Sure, why not?
Yeah, why not?
6, 7. That's what you see what we did there.
Yeah,
I figured we were leading up to
I
that.
I see what you did there. So 2 games.
Mr. TikTok.
No, that's you. You're Mr. Hip, Brett. You are.
Check out my TikTok account.
That's right. Oh no, that would be something. But 2 games that will start within the next 30 minutes. North Dakota State and Michigan State, and Hawaii, Arkansas. both right now, at least on the ESPN app, scheduled for 3:27 tips with those games before running a little late. So those, I think, two will be fun. North Dakota State and Hawaii both have had terrific seasons and could make things interesting the way that some of these other mid-major teams have made things interesting to start the day.
Last night when Taj Gibson was announced to go into the game wearing old number 67, he was announced as 6'7". The crowd went crazy.
That. I'm sure they did, Brett. I thought the 6'7" thing was dying.
We were excited about it.
I guess.
Landon and I led the charge. We were the ones.
I love that. I love that.
We were the only ones doing the hand motion.
Oh, interesting.
And there was a point last night for the Grizzlies of the 5 men on the floor. One was 6'7" and one was 7'7".
Okay.
We had old number 67 and 77 on it. Looked like a football line, offensive line out there.
All the sevens out there.
Yeah. Left guard 67, left tackle 77.
Right. Yeah. You just described a lot of offensive lines around football. But
the Grizzlies win.
They did, and it was.
What are they doing that for?
Well, it's Brett, you can't lose every game. I mean,
Why can't you?
Because then that's just.
If you're going to tank.
Well, but I mean, again, like they're tanking. That's what they're doing. Look at who's out there. I mean, they're tanking.
We can't take many more wins. Stop winning.
These players, they're not going to go out there and purposely lose. I don't want them to go out there and purposely
don't have them
lose.
out there. Come up with what is it how they describe the big toe?
The great toe is what I've
the
seen
great toe
described as. Yeah, I mean, I guess you could, but I mean, out of all the guys playing, I mean, Cedric, Jalen, Ty Jerome, those are really the only three that.
Ty Jerome was great last night.
He's been awesome since returning from injury. I mean, that's a guy that I really wish the Grizzlies could have had for the entire season because he really is a difference maker. He's really good.
Is he back next year?
I doubt it. I really doubt it. He signed a 3-year deal, I believe, in the offseason. So, this is year one, 2 more years after this. I do not think he is on the same timeline as the rest of the Grizzlies are in this rebuild. And so,
in a deal, he's that would be helpful.
No, it would be. And that's why I think, because I think the Grizzlies are going to have to make a decision, going into this draft, depending on where they are, depending on what they want to get, depending who they think is going to be there. And it might be a decision after the draft of, do you want to try to make Ty Jerome your point guard going forward? I don't think they will. I think they'll try to move him, especially what he's done. I know there were even some people saying they wouldn't be surprised if the Grizzlies moved him at the trade deadline. And I think at the trade deadline, he had played in 6 games. He had barely played at all. And people were like, Ty Jerome could get a really nice deal at the trade deadline. But right now averaging over 20 points a game, shooting about 49% from the field. I think you could get something really nice in return for him in this offseason.
And Brian, I'm very sorry that I tried to speak for everyone. I know, being the Dookie that you are, you're not anti-Duke in this game. They're already the deficit's already growing larger. Right. Sienna's added 2 to start the second half. But you did not have Duke even in your Elite Eight.
No, I have them.
You're going to get kicked out of the Brotherhood over this.
I have them.
I'm turning you in
to St. John's. Well, and that was more for the storyline. I just would love to see St. John's and UConn on the biggest scale playing against each other for the 4th time this season. Mm-hmm. I think that would be incredible television.
We could have punches thrown between the coaches.
We could. I think that would be great. I mean, I want nothing more out of March Madness than for St. John's and UConn to meet again in the Elite Eight, and then UConn to win.
You wouldn't mind if I turned you into the Brotherhood? It would be worth it.
That'd be fine. I
mean, if Duke goes down, how many brackets? I think that one game, which nobody's ever getting a perfect bracket, but that one game, doesn't that eliminate down to 0 point? And 25 zeros and a 1 of perfect brackets.
If I just take the brackets I've seen on social media, my friends' brackets, the ones I've seen, and I haven't seen a ton, but if I just take that as my kind of sample size, all of America would be about, I feel 40% of America has Duke winning the national championship. I've seen so many Duke national champion picks.
And wouldn't you say 80 in the Final Four.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. So I mean, this would be not good for a lot of people if this holds on. I would be shocked if even at this point if it still hangs on and if Duke doesn't win by like 5 points.
What would that do to your Richter scale?
No, that would take it up to a 10. I mean, that would break the
no
scale.
doubt. A 16 and it being
Yes.
Duke. It's one thing. I'm sorry, Virginia. I know you ended up winning one, but Virginia being the one and losing, and Purdue being the one and losing.
Oh yeah.
You let Duke join that club, it takes the Richter scale to 90.
No, it would. It
From 1 to
would.
10 to 90.
Yeah, so we'll see. We'll keep our eyes on this one. Except I do fear, and it's okay if we have to, Landon, because I have an iPad, I have a laptop, like I have other ways to watch.
Am I ahead of y'all?
No. But I fear. I mean, you are, but I fear that we're gonna have to turn this TV to Hawaii and Arkansas in 10 minutes, and Landon's nodding his head.
Well,
for those
aloha
Yes.
to all our Hawaii fans.
That's fine. Like I'm prepared for it. I have plenty of
Means
of
hello and
options.
goodbye.
That is
And
true.
love.
It does it really?
It does.
Wow.
Naturally.
So it's
You
just
have to go into deep
every
meaning. but
word.
We don't have time for that.
No,
triple meaning.
Good Lord. Yeah. I
You
don't
know, one of the
about that.
great words in the English dictionary is the word metal. It can be MEDAL.
Mm-hmm.
It can be METAL.
Mm-hmm.
It can be MEDDLE.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a fourth metal. What's the fourth metal? There's 4 different
I don't know.
ways to use metal.
I didn't know Sports Time was going to break out into English class today. I wasn't.
Nor did I.
I wasn't prepared for it, but that's what we're here for, to keep you updated on hoops and English. So we got you covered. But we've got a very busy show this afternoon. So let me set it up before we get to top and not top story of the day. 3:30. Pat Smith from Jocks down in Birmingham. He'll join us. We will talk a lot of college basketball with him.
Show your metal. METTLE.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Okay, I like that. So, yes, that is... You're right. I never thought about that. That is a really good word. But we'll talk with Pat Smith at 3:30. A lot of hoops. We'll certainly talk about Alabama, this Aiden Holloway situation, what he expects from not just them, but also the SEC. We'll do that at 3:30. 3:45, we'll talk more about the tournament. We'll have a better idea of what the Siena-Duke game is looking like at that point. Some other scores. We'll have some other games underway at that point. 4 o'clock, Keith Smith from Spot Track and the Front Office Show. He'll join us to talk the NBA with a lot to discuss when it comes to the NBA. Earlier this morning, Cade Cunningham was reported he has a collapsed lung. He will miss a lot of time for Detroit. I think that eliminates him for the postseason awards with the time missed. Also, you've got this story with Giannis of the team wants to shut him down. He wants to keep playing, and there's kind of a little bit of a war within the walls in Milwaukee about what to do with him. So we'll talk a lot of NBA with Keith Smith. 4:30, we'll continue the NBA conversation. We'll talk some Grizzlies, what happened last night with that win over the Denver Nuggets, 125-118 over the Nuggets. But we'll also probably talk a little more about the scores of March Madness, especially if, look, I'll be very honest. If Siena beats Duke, we're not talking NBA at 4:30. Like we're probably talking Siena and Duke and college basketball at 4:30. So that could very well change. But planning on talking Grizzlies. 4:45, we'll get to big number of the day. 5 o'clock, Greg Gaston. He'll join us. We'll talk a lot of Tigers with him. He was at the Penny Hardaway press conference yesterday, so we'll get all of his thoughts from that. We'll talk about this offseason as a whole. Talk some other things Tiger related with Greg Gaston. 5:30, we'll talk about what's trending, and at 5:45, we'll wrap up today's show like we always do with Moe's Crunch Time. Let me remind you, we're in our Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together. The Flora Model Spa sale, it's going on right now at Family Leisure. It's time to make room. Deep discounts on over 100 display models and in-stock hot tubs, swim spas, and cold plunges. If you've been dreaming about that new spa, well, now is the time to buy. Spas as low as $99 a month with over $1,000 in free upgrades with every spa purchase. $8,000 spas, only $159 a month with free LED lights and waterfall available on most models. Head out there to Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40.
We will keep you updated on all the games. Keep a listen to us. Turn the volume down on the TV, and we'll keep you updated. We're Sports Time. He's Brian. I'm Brett. Our producer's Landon Schmidt. We're live and local and with you until 6 o'clock. And we want you to be a part of our show by texting or calling 901-360-8255. That's the Sissy's Log Cabin text and talk line. Always live and local from our Family Leisure studios, and maybe that would be the last blast of winter, and we can get outside and enjoy everything at Family Leisure out on Witten Road. Thank you so much to them for being a great partner with us all these years. This hour brought to you by Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and online at lexusofmemphis.com. Great offers on all 2026 models and always special leasing options. Drive in luxury and confidence knowing that every new Lexus comes with complimentary first and second maintenance services. You can call them at 901-334-9673, but they invite you to stop by the only Lexus dealership in Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway, and that's where you can put yourself in the driver's seat of the all-new 2026 flagship LS500. You'll be driving in style. When you purchase a Lexus, you get top-of-the-line engineering and design, and they make for the safe luxury driving experience. Online at lexusofmemphis.com. Experience amazing at Lexus of Memphis.
Top story of the day.
Well, my top story of the day is March Madness, as round one got underway earlier today, and it started with a really fun 8-9 matchup between TCU and Ohio State. TCU got up really, really big, and then Ohio State had to come back in the second half, outscored TCU 40-27 in the second half, but it just was not enough. TCU gets the shot late, Ohio State not able to respond, and TCU gets the upset in the 9-8 game to start the day. We had Nebraska with a big win, their first win ever in the NCAA tournament. Just a really impressive win. They were lights out from three, knocking down everything. You had the upset, High Point over Wisconsin, but the madness did start last night in Dayton when Miami, Ohio, it was Dateline Dayton, because Miami, Ohio, they all got on a bus and traveled to Dayton, Ohio. It was a home game for Miami, Ohio, and you could tell.
Biggest sports event in Miami history.
No doubt about it. I would say so. And they looked really, really good. Made 16 3-pointers. Only turned the ball over 4 times. Just looked really in control for pretty much that entire game. On the other side, SMU, after it was said on the selection show, B.J. Edwards is set to return for their next game, and that's a big reason of why they're in the tournament. He doesn't play in Dayton.
Oh, rope-a-dope, trickeration.
That's exactly right. And SMU really struggled to shoot the ball throughout the game, especially from three. They just could not match Miami, Ohio. You look at a lot of these stats, and they're very similar. I mean, SMU only turned the ball over 6 times. They actually, SMU shot the ball better than Miami, Ohio. 47.7% from the field to 45.3% from Miami, Ohio. But it was those 16 3-pointers that SMU just could not match, the lack of turnovers as well that led to that win. So now Miami, Ohio, they'll play Tennessee, and again, no matter what happens now, they have won a game in the tournament, whether it's Dayton or not. They've beaten a power conference team, and they have that undefeated regular season. It has been an unbelievable year for Miami, Ohio. No matter what happens going forward, just a historic year.
My top story, I promise not to sing it, but you'll get the lyrics, won't you?
Okay.
The ball is tipped, and here we are.
That's right.
I'm not going to sing one Jackie moment.
Hey, but
I can't do that.
You got the message across, I think.
I can't do that to the people, can I?
No.
The month you're defined by, the tournament you're defined by, one team will win 6 games. I know you might be some teams out of date and do more, but you know what I'm talking about. At least 2 will win 5, 2 more will win 4. All that November through today stuff is very secondary. Something else that's secondary. How it's going to impact NBA draft. The NBA draft's not going to let these few weeks really dictate too much to them, but it does show how people handle under pressure, because this is maximum pressure for college players, and there's no pressure like it for the coaches. This is when the coaches, it is really tough on them, because this is what defines them. They are the constant of the sport. Always have been, but really now with one and done in the portal and all the players playing for all the different teams, the coaches stay, and the pressure's heavy.
It absolutely is.
Not top story of the day.
My not top story of the day is the Grizzlies, a 125-118 win last night over the Denver Nuggets, a game where every single starter for the Grizzlies finished in double figures. You had Omax, who had a really nice game with 19 18. Ty Jerome, he led the way with 21, 5 for 8 from 3. He added 9 assists to that as well. He's been awesome since returning from that injury. Really wish, I'd be curious if you take away some of those injuries. And obviously the injuries happen, but if you had Ty Jerome to start the season with this team, because that's why he was brought in. He was not brought in to be a part of Omac, Cedric, Gigi, Jalen Wells. He was brought in to be a part of Ja Morant and Jaren Jackson Jr. and some of those other guys. And I would love to see
KCP.
KCP, Zach Edey. They're
Scottie Pippen.
The starting lineup and even that rotation would have looked much different if you hadn't had those injuries. But that's part of the game. Injuries are part of the game. But Ty Jerome has looked the part. A really fun game for the Grizzlies on the other side. They did a really nice job against Nikola Jokic, who did finish with 29 points, but he never really felt comfortable throughout the game. Had 10 turnovers. Just did not seem like the Nikola Jokic that we are used to. A really fun game for the Grizzlies. It is a win. I know a lot of people in tank mode, but hey, a win every now and then, as long as it doesn't become a 3-game, 5-game, 10-game win streak, a win now and then, that doesn't hurt you, and especially against a team like the Nuggets, I think it makes you feel good.
My not top story yesterday, the Dr. Scott and the Coach Hardaway presser, I think a lot of positivity and a lot of good points made. And I am sorry for this. I really am. But now I'm convinced nothing's ever going to dissuade Penny Hardaway from that he's been mistreated, that people are after him. And he even used the hate word. And he rejected that he doesn't think it's that. But it's not even close. It's not even close to that. What people are irritated about is 5 out of 8 years not in the NCAA tournament. What people are irritated about is no advancement in the NCAA tournament. There's no vitriol, animus toward him. The program hadn't been in the Sweet 16 next year at tournament time in 18 years. That's what they're irritated about. There's no hate at him, and for him to say the media needs to be more supportive. Show me the ugly media out there that's been on him at any point in 8 years. And I guess he doesn't like facts pointed out, the very few wins this year, the high number of losses this year, the other things I made. It's not an ugly post if somebody posts years ago, and I don't know anybody that really belabors it, but he lost a game by 40 in conference. There's not it's not anybody dogging him about it, and if you post that, that's not being negative.
No, it's not. It's not. And so, we've heard it a lot, and, you heard it again yesterday, him talking about the negativity and kind of the blowback he feels that he gets from a lot of different people, but did point out the media in part of that. But that'll do it for top and not top story of the day. Let's get to our first break, and when we return, we're heading down to Birmingham. Pat Smith from Jocks, he joins us next.
Did you miss your favorite Sports 56 show? No! Check out the podcast, broken down hourly at sports56whbq.com or wherever you get your podcasts. Be sure to like and subscribe. Never miss any Sports 56 show again with our podcasts available daily from Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Unlock your new go-to spot, Codes Dispensary in Steele, Missouri, just over an hour from Memphis. When you're ready for a legal, reliable option, they're right up the road. Explore the full menu of top-shelf products in-store and online. Short on time? Order ahead and cruise through the drive-thru for a quick pickup. Stack rewards while you stock up with Club Codes. Earn points for every dollar spent. Codes Dispensary, now open in Steele, Missouri. Supreme cannabis that's worth the drive. Learn more at codesdispensary.com. That's codesdispensary.com.
With other language learning apps, I was just playing games. I wasn't really learning. Babbel's different.
Babbel was designed by over 200 language learning experts to be the most effective way to learn another language.
Every time I open the app, I can choose to work on my writing, speaking, or listening. And it saves my mistakes for me to review, so I'm constantly improving. Before Babbel, I thought I just wasn't good with languages. But now I'm speaking French. Tout ça, c'est grâce à Babbel.
Save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription when you sign up at Babbel.com. BABBEL.com.
I got him on the line out there in Gossett Volkswagen Germantown. Hey, Marty McNate, what's going on?
I've got some big news. Volkswagen Driver Days is going on at Gossett Volkswagen Germantown.
And Marty McNate, I hear you've got some incredible deals happening right now.
You heard right, Randy. I got 2026 Jetta S $277 a month.
$277 a month for Jetta. Hey, what else you got?
How about 2026 Teos S, $327 a month.
$327 a month for Teos S, and I hear you got a Tiguan deal out of this world.
2026 Tiguan S, $355 a month.
Well, it sounds like you got something for everyone.
Come see me, Marty McNade, at Gossett Volkswagen Germantown, 7420 Winchester Road, or shop online at GossettVWG.com. And remember, your future is what you make it.
All 36-month lease, Jetta TM 005137, MSRP 25820, Tiguan TM 014510, MSRP 32585, Atlas TC 515398, MSRP 41841, includes all rebates and incentives, must be financed through Volkswagen Credit TF 895, excludes tax and lessons for the group credit. See dealer for complete details, offer valid through end of the month, dealer stock only.
Men, if you're tired of relying on pills and want lasting, natural performance in the bedroom, Bluff City Health and Wellness offers Apex RF. Backed by clinical research, this discreet 15-minute, non-surgical treatment boosts blood flow, sensitivity, and confidence. No pills, no needles, no side effects. Appointments are filling fast. Call Bluff City Health and Wellness today at 901-800-7606 or take the ED quiz at bchwonline.com. Bluff City Health and Wellness, your confidence in the bedroom naturally.
Listen each and every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. and join Ottawa Presbyterian Church for worship. Ottawa is a PCUSA church located in Midtown Memphis.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. It's cranking up pretty good, trying to slide out of Midtown here on 240 southbound as you come past South Parkway. The further south you go at Memphis, we have seen some radar down through there in certain parts of DeSoto County this afternoon as it cranks up down through there anyway, going southbound on 55 as you come out of Shelby County. Hey, that low-cost drive-through vaccine clinic, it's back this Saturday. Don't miss it this year. It's at the Humane Society of Memphis, Shelby County. Check out their website. Log on to memphishumane.org. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Back into Sports Time, Bryant and Brett with you, and we gotta talk some college hoops. Head down to Birmingham, talk about it with Pat Smith from Jocks down in Birmingham. Pat, thanks so much for joining us. A lot to discuss, but I do want to start off with the big story out of Tuscaloosa with Aiden Holloway, his arrest, and how that will affect Alabama. What do you make of this story? What can you tell us about it, and how do you think it will affect Alabama?
Good afternoon, guys. Always a pleasure to be on in your beautiful city. And, man, I tell you, it's when you talk about Alabama basketball, it seems like every year you're talking about something. And then all of a sudden this year you had the Charles Bediako drama, and then you thought, okay, well, we're going to go into the rest of the season, NCAA tournament. Not going to have a lot to talk about, right? Just talk about the games. And then Aiden Holloway gets pulled over in Tuscaloosa, and then a task force gets involved and raids his home and finds 2.1 pounds of marijuana. So he's off the team. He's off campus. He's not a student. And so now this Alabama basketball team has got to go into the tournament without their second leading scorer. But it also lends to a bigger question that so many people have called our radio show the last few days. It's about the future of Nate Oates, because is it his fault? How much did he know? When did he know it? There's all these things that a lot of people are trying to wrap their head around. And honestly, guys, we probably won't know any answer to those questions for some time. And, of course, as always, when you win basketball games, there's not a lot of criticism. But when you lose, or if you get beat by Hofstra tomorrow, then all of a sudden there's a lot of other questions that some people are going to have to answer.
Yeah, Pat, it is amazing. Football and basketball in every place. It's not just one or two leagues or one or two places. Those coaches, they know, literally, they know daily what they weigh and what weight they want them playing at. And with the diet staff, what they are being fed to either maintain that playing weight or slip a little bit below it or above it. And then something like this happens and they know nothing about it. Just don't have any clue of anything going on around them, and literally can tell you the day before. Almost have a running blood pressure monitor, then they get in trouble and know nothing.
Yeah, that's the part that we raised serious question on our show, because Nate Oates said to the media that he did not know anything about anything until what took place on Monday. Well, word came out yesterday from Aiden Holloway's attorney that there was a traffic stop last week in which there was a small amount of marijuana that was found. Apparently, it was small enough to where they did not press charges. They did not take him in. And so I guess he was let off for whatever the case may be. And then all of a sudden, that happens on Monday. The lawyer for Aiden Holloway says that it was a coincidence, that there was not a traffic stop then which led to a raid on his home 6 days later. So my question is, when he got pulled over last week for whatever the situation was, did no one on that coaching staff at Alabama know about that? Because when you come out and you say on Monday, well, I had no idea that anything was happening until they showed up at his house and they executed the warrant and obviously arrested him for 2 felonies, that has to be, you know what, in this day and age, like you said, Brett, I mean, you know how fast they run at practice and how many calories they intake, all that kind of stuff. I find it hard to believe that a basketball coach, or at least a member of that staff, did not have a finger on the pulse of what was going on with him or the other players on that basketball team.
Yeah, no, I think you have to, and I think that's something, especially if you
it's
said
your responsibility.
If there was another stop too, I mean, I feel like that's something that somebody would have absolutely known about. So looking at this matchup against Hofstra, it feels like some people, even before the Aiden Holloway situation came up, thought Hofstra could be one of these sneaky upset teams to pick in their brackets. What do you make of this matchup against Hofstra?
Well, one thing's for sure, Hofstra, like so many teams, when you go up against the type of offense that Alabama has, you want to try to slow the game up. Hofstra does a really good job doing that defensively. They're a team that obviously doesn't shoot a lot from the outside, so Alabama is just going to have to obviously perform better than they did in Nashville. Ole Miss took it to them. Alabama decided in the second half to finally wake up, and it was a little bit too late, because Ole Miss was the hot team in Nashville, and Ole Miss was able to do things to limit what Alabama was able to do. I think Alabama can get this win. Then there's the bigger questions moving forward. Okay, can you beat Texas Tech in the next round? And then you got a real booger bear when you get to the next round. It's one game at a time at this point in juncture. Just look at Siena and Duke right now. So you better not take anybody lightly, and I think Nate Oates got everybody's attention after the Ole Miss loss. And I think they're going to be ready to play tomorrow.
I promise this will be the last thing about off the court. I don't want to belabor it much more, but I do want to ask you this. Was it even up for grabs, even a debate? I mean, did Byrne or at the president, chancellor level just flat out say he's not playing? There was no debate, wasn't it? I mean, Oates wasn't lobbying for him to play, and Byrne had to overrule him, did he?
To my knowledge, Brett, and obviously a lot of this stuff has been very close vest in regards to things, I have not heard anything that would advocate that they were advocating or trying to maneuver to get him to play. The bottom line was the school acted immediately, which was, you got 2 accusations, 2 felonies that are on the books, you're off campus. Like, you're not even a student anymore. And obviously, if you're not a student at the University of Alabama or any school, you're not going to be playing intercollegiate athletics for that school. So I think the school stepped in immediately and kind of took the really hard decision. Let's just say that it was in the state of Alabama, 2.2 pounds constitutes trafficking. He had 2.1 pounds. So then there's all these questions.
You go over on The Price is Right, it's the end of the bid. That's not going to happen in the courts, is it?
Yeah. And so then all of a sudden, is it a situation, because Aiden Holloway's attorneys this week, they were trying to get a hearing pretty daggum quick. And what they were trying to do is they were trying to get some form of where the school would allow him to be a student again, because these are obviously pending legal charges against him. He's not found guilty. These are charges. And so they were trying to get a hearing. Well, the problem is Alabama's in spring break right now. So pretty much the school's closed down. So there's not going to be any type of hearing to try to reinstate him as a student. So that would have been the really interesting part, Brett, if, let's say, they go, okay, we are going to, side on, proven, you're innocent until proven guilty. So we're going to let you come back on campus. Then at that point, does Greg Byrne, does Nate Oates, do they say, well, until he's guilty, just like the Bediako thing? I know it's a much different situation, but it was like Bediako. We're going to play Bediako, but until somebody legally tells us that he can't play, we're going to play him. So that could have been a situation where if the school would have allowed him back on campus, then that would have been a very interesting predicament for Nate Oates and for Greg Byrne to see if you would have rolled the dice and tried to allow him to play.
And then the great question then would be begged, if Bama played him, I'd love to get the commissioner of the SEC's opinion on it, because he weighed in on the Bediako case.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. How the commissioner
a member
will
institution school.
It's amazing, and I cannot wait till SEC spring meetings, because I know his availability has been very limited. I know he spoke a little bit in Nashville, but when you get to Destin, Florida, and I'm afraid that there's going to be a few people. I mean, listen, he got mad last year. I'm talking about Greg Sankey. He got mad at Brandon Marcello from CBS Sports when Marcello asked him a pointed question about the college football playoff, and he took umbrage to what he said on that occasion.
Imagine how mad he's going to be at Brett in Tampa when I ask him who you siding with, NCAA or Ole Miss on Trinidad Chambliss.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's a wild time. And I know listen, Alabama fans, and I'll just say this and I'll be quiet about Aiden Holloway. Alabama fans realize, even during the Charles Bediako stuff, that this is not an Alabama team that they believe is a Final Four caliber team, okay? That doesn't mean that they don't think that they can go and make some noise and be a good year and hopefully go to the Sweet 16, or if certain things happen, maybe to the Elite Eight. But there's no illusions of grandeur here that this is one of Nate Oates' best basketball teams. He's got a couple of really good guards, but as far as the roster as a whole, nobody in our state believes that they are anywhere near competing with the Floridas or even possibly even the Arkansas of the world.
Yeah. Looking at the rest of this team, obviously the big name with Alabama is Philon. What has the talk been around him? Obviously, you see his name all over mock drafts. What has the talk been around Tuscaloosa, around Birmingham, about kind of where he could go in the NBA draft and what scouts are thinking about him?
He's going to be a lottery pick, guys. Latrell Reitzel. But LeBaron Philon, I mean, he is just wild scouts, and obviously, in my opinion, outside of A-Cup, from a guard standpoint, just absolutely incredible year. And NBA folks love him, and I think he will be a lottery pick. I really do. He's that good. As far as the rest of this basketball team, you got a couple guys that were MIA up in Nashville, and they're going to have to play big. I mean, when Latrell Reitzel and Allen both had 0 points, or I think they had 5 points. Allen, I think, had 5. Latrell Reitzel had 0 against Ole Miss. You're talking about two other guards that are going to have to step up big time for Aiden Holloway tomorrow against Hofstra. But as far as Philon goes, he has been everything that was advertised when they got him out of Mobile, Alabama. He has been a really solid player and someone that is going to make a lot of money at the next level.
No, he has been really, really good. We'll see what it looks like against Hofstra in the first round, like you mentioned. With a win, it's a potential matchup against Texas Tech. But as always, Pat, thanks so much for joining us. Enjoy the weekend. We'll talk to you again soon.
All right, as John Stupor from the 1982 Cardinals pitching staff would say, guys, always a pleasure.
Nice. John Stupor had a big win in Game 6 in 82, Pat.
We could not have won the title that year without John Stupor, my friend.
Oh, Pat, that was a good one. Very good. Thank you, man.
Thanks, Pat.
You got
All right, guys, take care.
You got Pat Smith with us from Jocks down in Birmingham on basketball 2 weeks in a row. That's violating like some Geneva Convention accord, isn't it?
I don't know how we did it, but we did it.
We did do it. I know we're going to need a lot of food for all this basketball, all this madness. And Jason's Deli, all 3 meals, they can cater for you at the office for an event you're having, for anything, a church function, a scouting organization, anything, travel baseball, getting back together, which they never stop. It seems like everything, 5 or 5,000, bringing more to the table. It's a family thing at Jason's Deli. Low delivery fees on all setup. Same day and last minute orders welcome. That's when they excel. When you don't think you have your event planned just right, step aside, let them step in, and it goes off perfectly. Whether it's dining in to go or getting it delivered, it's wholesome food forever. It is a family thing at Jason's Deli. Any of these great locations, I guarantee you in our area, there's one close to you on Ridgeway, in Park Place, across from MUS, down in Olive Branch, out in Cordova, by the University of Memphis at Poplar and Highland. And the food, healthy, first franchise in the nation to be trans fat free. They were on the healthy kick long before it got cool. Off the menu, the salads like the Mesa chicken salad, my favorite, the taco salad, the nutty mixed up salad, and then that great salad bar in every one of these locations with over 30 items for you to prepare it however you would like. Trans fat free food, and it's all about choice. Whether you seek a gluten free menu or vegetarian sandwiches, you'll be delighted at any of these Jason's Deli locations at Ridgeway Road, Poplar and Highland, Olive Branch, and Cordova. Complimentary free ice cream in every one of those. Check them out online as well, and enjoy the basketball at jasonsdeli.com.
Well, we're going to talk some more college hoops when we return, update you on some scores, talk about what's going on around the country. We'll do that next on Sports Time.
Start your day with Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Guns, guns, and more guns. Over 700 firearms in stock. Home defense guns, old guns, new guns, used guns, big guns, little guns. Every gun you can think of, Classic Arms has them. All brands like Glock, Sig, Colt, Ruger, Smith & Wesson, Browning, Beretta, Benelli, Remington, Winchester, and more. Guaranteed lowest prices in town. Only gun importer in the Mid-South. Free gun inspections and appraisals and free bore sighting for the upcoming deer season. Shop online at ClassicArmsOfMemphis.com or visit Classic Arms at 1740 Germantown Parkway behind Corky's Barbecue in Cordova.
Cleanliness is next to impossible unless you call High-Low Commercial Services. For 15 years, High-Low's dedicated team has been cleaning offices throughout the Mid-South. High-Low's janitorial services are customized to your business. Clean once, quarterly, or ongoing, and get the JRD guarantee. We clean until you're satisfied. High-Low Commercial Services, the biggest and the best in the Mid-South. Visit MrCleanTeam.com. That's MrCleanTeam, MrCleanTeam.com for High-Low Commercial Services.
Remember when a spring day meant sunshine, animals, and nowhere you had to be? At the Memphis Zoo, spring break is the perfect excuse to get outside and explore. Meet adorable new animal babies, hop aboard the zoo train, take a spin on the carousel, or soar above the zoo on the zip line. Discover new foods and retail along the way, and grab a classic Mold-A-Rama souvenir. Bring the kids, meet friends, or enjoy a quiet afternoon. The Memphis Zoo, creating adventures, saving wildlife.
Step up your wings game at East Coast Wings and Grill. With over 60 wing flavors and 7 heat indexes, do you have what it takes to turn the heat on your wings up to insanity? East Coast Wings and Grill is family friendly with a large variety menu to satisfy the whole bunch. Sign up today for their loyalty program and taste the rewards. For every dollar you spend, you collect a point. Earn 100 points and receive a $5 reward. Next to Lowe's off Highway 64 in Bartlett, come try America's best wings at East Coast Wings and Grill.
If you want to make money in sales, Flynn Broadcasting wants you. If you can sell, Flynn Broadcasting has a great career waiting for you. If you can sell, we have great benefits, salary, commission, sales leads, and a great place to work. If you can sell, let us know today. Send your resume to jobs@flynn.com. Can everyone sell? No. But if you can, Flynn Broadcasting wants you. Apply today at jobs@flynn.com. Start your great career today at jobs@flynn.com. Flynn Broadcasting wants you.
Do Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider. Arctic Clear is 100% natural spring water with free delivery and setup, dependable service, and no long-term contracts. What an easy choice. Call Jeff Manus today, 901-382-2363, or visit arctic-clear.com. Arctic Clear bottled water. Call now, 382-2363. That's 382-2363.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Well, we've got action all across the country. 4 games going on right now, part of March Madness and the first round. Siena and Duke, the one everyone watching right now. Duke ahead by 2, 63-61, as they just got to the under 4 media timeout, the final media timeout of the game. Something that I didn't realize in our first segment, and they threw it up there on the at the bottom on the scoreboard when we were done with our first segment. Siena has not made a substitution the entire game. They have played 5 guys 36 minutes. And you can tell. I mean, they're getting tired out there. They're playing well. Like good for them. Like, this is a unbelievable effort playing 36 minutes against Duke. But you can tell they're getting a little fatigued out there. Maybe time to switch it up a little bit. I know we probably don't trust a lot of the guys on the bench against Duke. But maybe just, like, I would have loved in that segment between the under 8 and the under 4, let's get some guys a breather so that they can come back in at the under 4 and then really apply pressure against Duke.
Brian, on your how many screens you got up?
3 right now.
Okay, do you have the quad box up?
I do not right now.
Right now, this is one of my least favorite things. We have no basketball going on. All 4 quads are in a commercial.
Well, I was about to say, I know the 3 I'm watching are all on the only one I don't have on right now is Michigan State and North Dakota State.
But we like advertising. We like promotion.
Of course.
We're not anti that.
Gotta have it.
Arkansas up 24-7 over Hawaii. 2 Bill Montgomery touchdown passes to Chuck Dykes, a Bill Burnett touchdown run, and a Bill McClard field goal. Makes it 24-7 Razorbacks.
I
just cut out 95% of our Arkansas audience with that reference from football.
That's hilarious. I mean, but hey, you got it in there. That bag is deep enough to pull out some references for sure. But yeah, an 11-0 start for Arkansas against Hawaii. Like you said, now up 24-7.
It looks like they got 7 guys on defense against Hawaii.
Right. I mean,
it's 7-on-5.
Arkansas is just way too athletic and way too fast. And then you're right, defensively, I mean, just they can't do anything.
This is not a shot. This is just a fact of life and everything. You got to catch a break. The best sailors have the wind at their back. You got to catch some breaks in life. Arkansas, proudly champions of the SEC tournament, beat Oklahoma, Ole Miss, and Vandy to get there. Vandy on Sunday in Nashville. Okay, now very likely open against Hawaii and then High Point to go to the Sweet 16. Yeah. You got to catch that wave sometime and ride it. For Arkansas, what they didn't want to have happen, and this could be occurring with Duke, after you have that near-death experience, you gather yourself. It's like in boxing. You get the mouthpiece knocked out, taste your own blood, you come back and win, you're better for it. Wisconsin would have been very dangerous after the near-death experience. And I don't have to worry about it. It was basketball death. And Arkansas would get High Point, and can High Point get that high again for a Saturday game?
Yeah, it's a good question right now. I mean, this Arkansas team, if this continues, I mean, Acuff and Thomas and
Brazil,
like all these guys are going to be resting for the final 8 minutes of the game.
Are they though? They don't have warm bodies many over there.
That's true. That is true. The injury bug has got
Bradley Calipari. Go to the scorer's table.
Well, no, I don't want to see that. Let's keep everybody in if that's the case. You're right. So, but you know they will be able to use the bodies they have a lot more. because
that big
the way this
old
game's
soft
going.
zone. Does Cal have? Is he would mix metaphors? Does he have a down of zone?
Yeah, no, I think they can do whatever they want for the next. However, I'm sorry, Landon, we're just crushing Hawaii over here, but
They're getting crushed. We got.
never
I
felt
have
like-
my own comments over here.
It never felt like a good matchup because, and everyone's been talking about it, but this. I forget what they call it, but they don't switch on defense. You got your guy.
They try to force
and
ISO ball.
You stay with him the entire time. That works against a lot of teams. That does not work against a team like Arkansas that is so athletic.
They're a lot faster.
And so fast. Exactly. And they're getting a lot of runouts. And
I like that. I like that strategy. I think so many teams get caught up in too many switches.
Oh, they do. But if that is your only identity against a team like this, that's what happens.
That's running the wishbone, isn't it?
Sure. I mean, there was a play, and I looked over to you earlier where, I mean, you had a cutter for Arkansas, and there were like 3 guys standing around. Nobody even like attempted to go and stop him. And I mean, just the easiest
It is two completely different styles.
Yeah. Oh no, it absolutely is. And so Arkansas looking really, really good right now, and we'll see if that can continue. Right now, Vanderbilt up 4 over McNeese as they've got about 10 minutes left in their game. Michigan State up 25-16 over North Dakota State, as that's another game that's still very early. And then with Duke and Siena, Duke has now taken the lead. They're up 65-61. They have certainly controlled most of this second half. They now have the lead and look like they will most likely get a win. Again, Siena running with 5 guys. Talk about not having any warm bodies over there on the bench. They just don't have warm bodies because the guys have been sitting for so long. I mean,
it's a bold strategy.
It is a strategy that worked.
I already have three big ugly red X's.
Right. Wow.
I've got the
Well, that was the thing, Brett.
Sharpie out for me.
You were trying to play head games yesterday, I think, as you called it, with the by showing all of us the red Sharpie throughout the show yesterday. But it's you that's using it on yourself. I mean, that's friendly fire, I guess you could say.
And my beloved Big Ten, Jim Delaney, the former commissioner of the Big Ten, once said after the drought in football, well, we're really a basketball conference. Well, we know who the last 3 national champions are in football. They are the preeminent football conference in the country right now. Hadn't won it since 2000 in basketball, and to have 2 out by 3 o'clock on Thursday.
Yeah, and they got a lot of early games. Now, we say that, and Nebraska looked really good in their first game against Troy. I mean, they ran Troy out of the gym. But you're right. I mean, the two of the bigger results of the day so far have been the High Point win over Wisconsin and TCU over Ohio State. And as close as that game between TCU and Ohio State was, Ohio State was out of it for a large portion of that game before they came back.
And got a lead.
Yeah, no, they did, and it just couldn't hold on to it, and TCU really able to fight and secure that win. So, yeah, hadn't been a great day for the Big Ten so far, but Michigan State up by 10. They could certainly start turning around. Michigan goes a little bit later tonight. Illinois as well. So they've got an opportunity to maybe right the ship a little bit before the day's over.
And the answer, what would be the basketball parallel equivalent of Indiana? It would be Nebraska cutting the nets down in Indianapolis. Not going to, but that's what it would be.
Yeah, it would be. And they've been fun. They looked really, really good earlier today against Troy, that fan base out supporting. I was told by somebody that was in the arena this morning, they were all drunk before the ball went up in the air.
I think so.
Tip off. I mean, they were just. He said walking through the concourse. I mean, just the smell of alcohol at 11 o'clock in the morning was something he had not experienced many times.
Well, Bryant, they brought the only sign of life to Memphis 2 years ago.
They did, and I told this person about that. I was like, yeah, they were here in Memphis.
I mean, that'd have been the Bluff City Classic if it hadn't been for Nebraska.
They were. It was all hands on deck for Nebraska. And they just travel extremely well, and they are very proud of their program. Yeah, I mean, it's awesome to watch. And you're right, it's in every sport, which is really cool to see. So we'll keep you updated on all of these scores. We'll wrap up some of these games, and then we'll have a little bit of a lull there with the next game not starting right now, scheduled for 5:50 between VCU and North Carolina. That should be a good game. North Carolina only a 2.5-point favorite. So we'll keep you updated on all of these games, but we need to wrap up this hour. When we return, we're talking NBA. Keith Smith from Spot Track and the Front Office Show. He joins us next.
Looking for sports in all the wrong places? Try the Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill in Lakeland's Town Square. Fun, exciting, friendly, and comfortable with wall-to-wall TVs. 24 taps for all your beers, including $3 domestic and $5 craft pints on Mondays. Monday through Friday, 3 to 6 happy hour. Music bingo Tuesdays. Daily specials and online ordering. The Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill in Lakeland's Town Square. Highway 70. Check Facebook for daily specials and weekend music at the Owner's Box. Top Gun is the largest indoor range in the Mid-South, but size isn't their only difference. Top Gun has the best instructors with over 300 years combined experience and classes all the way from first shot to master marksmanship. Plus, Top Gun is affordable. Gold membership is just $48 a month. That's just $1.60 a day for unlimited range time, free gun rentals with purchase of ammo, and members lounge access. Top Gun, 2770 Witten Road and TopGunMemphis.com. Always shoot with the best. Top Gun Memphis.
Mercedes-Benz Van Center Memphis has serious vans for serious work. At 4430 American Way, they are the Mid-South source for cargo, passenger, crew vans, and custom chassis. Need one or a full fleet? New or used? They've got it with fleet solutions and custom upfits. Certified techs keep you moving with fast maintenance, repairs, and a large parts inventory. Mercedes-Benz Van Center is your Sprinter Van headquarters, 901-237-9302 or sprintervans.com. Mercedes-Benz Van Center Memphis, part of the Tag Truck Center family, driven to keep you on the road.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
March is known for its madness, and once again this year, that madness could lead to cash in your pocket. UTJ at Classic Arms is so excited about his fall's chances in the tournament, he's partnering with us to give away $98.50 to a lucky winner every time Tennessee wins a game. So cheer on the Volunteers, and when they win, tune into Sports 56 mornings the next day for your chance to win $98.50. Thanks to Classic Arms and Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
After a crash, insurance companies want you to settle for less. NST doesn't play that game. For over 35 years, we've won big for Memphis families. Injured, the call is free, and you don't pay unless we win. NST is the way to go. Call 683-7000.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon, T-Dot's already working with a couple of accidents out here. No surprise to see it starting to get a little bit busy at times through the Midtown area, especially coming southbound on 240 here in South Parkway. A little bit of radar south of Memphis. It's been on and off today. Be careful traveling down through DeSoto County right now on 55, headed on down into Tate County. Hey, St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital is leading the way the world understands, treats, and helps defeat childhood cancer. Please help these kids with cancer if you can. Log on to stjude.org. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studios, we are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis. Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Landers, Ford, and Collierville. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
When you hear the sound coming. Welcome back in. Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you as we start our second hour on this Thursday afternoon. We need to talk the NBA, and we do it at this time every single Thursday with Keith Smith.
Time to talk NBA with Keith Smith from Spot Rack and the Front Office Show, and on Twitter X at Keith Smith NBA. Here's Keith Smith talking basketball with Bryant and Brett.
Keith Smith Seth joins us now to talk the NBA from Spot Track and the Front Office Show, but I'm sure right now he's watching a lot of college basketball with all the March Madness action around the country. Keith, a lot to talk about in the NBA, including the news this morning about Cade Cunningham with a collapsed lung. He'll miss some time with that. What did you make of that? And obviously a guy like Cade Cunningham, I believe, the timeline that they're projecting will have him out of the postseason awards and will certainly hurt Detroit. I mean, an unbelievable player. What did you make of that news this morning of the Cade Cunningham injury?
Yeah, really surprising. When he left the game on Tuesday, they said he had back spasms. When they ruled him out yesterday for tonight's game, back spasms. But anybody who's had a collapsed lung knows that's what it can kind of present like. It feels like, everything locks up and tightens up on you and you're hurting. So that is, really, unfortunate. The recovery times for that they're all over the place. DJ McCollum had one and was out for like a month or so, came back. He's obviously been fine since. Terrence Jones, way back in the day, had a collapsed lung and he only missed a couple weeks in about 6 games and then was playing. So, but yeah, we're going to see Detroit is, they're certainly in trouble without him, right? It's going to be really tough for them to get much done without Cade Cunningham, but they've built a little bit of a cushion. They've got a 4-game lead over the Celtics in the loss column, and that should maybe be enough for them to hold on, but it's certainly going to be tough. And then if he's not ready for the playoffs, it's going to get even harder for them.
Yeah, and you're right. They are all over the place on that injury, and we're really lucky it doesn't happen more often with some of the falls and the spills and the contact. But without him, that would really limit Detroit. I don't know if it was ever a go for a year, but they sure wouldn't be able to do it if he had to miss into playoff time.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he is. I don't mean to say that I think he's going to win the MVP, although I think he should show up on ballots. But he may be the most valuable player to any one of the teams because of how much he means to that Pistons team. They do not have a lot of shot creation on that team, and he is such a major part of their offense and driving their success that they really, really need him healthy. It's going to be really tough for them to kind of keep things moving and pull this off without him.
And he's at 60 games played. Even if he were to, I don't know if he's going to get to the games played mark now, the 65.
Yeah, no, I don't. Yeah, it's going to be tough. There is a rule where you can be at 62 games where you have to be ruled out through May, which obviously that's not anything anybody's thinking or anything of that sort at this point for Cade Cunningham, because they're hoping he'll definitely be back for a playoff run. But it's the good thing for him is his contract is all locked in, so I don't think there should be any reason for him to rush back. I know you want to win awards, you want to do all that stuff, but I'm just not sure that we're going to see him hit those markers. But again, being healthy for the playoffs, that's what really matters.
Mm-hmm. And you especially see what the Celtics have been doing, especially since getting Jason Tatum back. They've played extremely well, and they're sneaking up behind Detroit. I was watching, I guess it was last week, the Thunder and Celtics game last week. A really fun game in Oklahoma City, but it was the rookie Hugo Gonzalez that really jumped out to me for Boston. I mean, you saw him even in the fourth quarter. He's guarding SGA, making it really tough for SGA to get good looks. Now, SGA is an unbelievable player, was making some tough shots, but to have a rookie out there guarding an MVP player like SGA, it doesn't feel like Gonzalez gets talked about as much as some of these other rookies around the NBA. What have you seen from him, and what kind of sticks out to you of his play so far this rookie season?
Yeah, he plays really hard. That's the first part. On defense, they've put him on all kinds of different players, and there was a stretch in 1 week where he guarded Giannis Antetokounmpo and then Tyrese Maxey, and they were basically like, good or bad. With that, it was we're going to give it a shot and see what it looks like. And it is, I think something where, for them, they're willing to give him a lot of stuff. Now, on offense, they're mostly playing him off ball. He's shown a little bit as the year has gone along of some on-ball juice, but gets most of his stuff off spot-ups and some of it off cuts and the like. And then the other thing is, if he makes a mistake, Joe Mazzulla keeps him on a short leash, and he'll yank him out. He'll kind of, let him have it a little bit, but then he always gets him back in. He never keeps him out very long. So they're just kind of, just trying to make sure he learns as he goes, and he's going to be a big part of what they're trying to do. He's part of the regular 9-man rotation, 9 in, 9 out now.
Coach of the Year, Joe Mazzulla?
We're going to see. I think he certainly should be up there on the list of candidates. Most people had this team down around 500 or, some even under that. Most had them in the play-in tournament before the start of the season, and here they are, maybe making a run at the top spot in the East, and by some measures, some people have them as the favorite to get out of the Eastern Conference, and that's not just because Jason Tatum is back. That's part of it, but the main part of it is how well they have played over the balance of the year without Jason Tatum in the lineup after trading away all those guys. And Joe Mazzulla, I say this whenever I'm asked, they didn't ask Hugo Gonzalez or Baylor Shireman or Jordan Walsh, hey, we need you guys to come in and be Jason Tatum. They said, be the best version of yourselves. With Peyton Pritchard, Derek White, Jaylen Brown, there was no, hey, we need you guys to be Jason Tatum. We just need you to be the best version of yourselves. That's really all that they ask guys to do, and they try to put them in places to succeed. And Joe Mazzulla believes in the way he plays and the style of ball they play, and he sticks with it almost no matter who's out there.
Keith, we have talked about him a lot, and and years ago I knew to quit asking that question about a return to college. But when did you first see this in Brad Stevens, this front office impresario, and when did they notice it and go, look, you run the whole show?
It was really a surprise when he stepped into the front office, several years ago now, because it just wasn't anything anybody knew was on the table. We knew he had his same personnel and been a big part of it and all of that, and but nobody really knew that they that they how do I phrase it, that they were kind of setting up for him to be in the front office. But then when it came out that he didn't want to have to do all the travel and all that stuff with his kids, finishing up their high school time and everything, he wanted to be able to be home more. It made more and more sense why he was trying, to make this transition. And Brad Stevens would be first one to tell you that he is in a place where he has made this transition so successfully because of guys like Mike Zarin and Dave Lewin and Buddy Scott in their front office. Those are his kind of three big guys. And Austin Ainge, when he was there running a lot of the draft and international scouting, Brad Stevens would be the first one to tell you, hey, all of those guys, I wouldn't be nearly as successful as I am without those guys and what they do.
The big news around the NBA over the last couple of days has been this Giannis Antetokounmpo situation with his injury. The Bucks wanting to shut him down for the rest of the season. He does not want to be shut down. He wants to return to the court and play more the rest of the season. What do you make of what's going on? Kind of explain this situation. It's been a really weird last year with Giannis in Milwaukee, and I think this kind of even adds on to it. Feels like we're seeing the end of his time in Milwaukee.
Yeah, it feels like if the Bucks had said, we want you to play, he was going to say, I want to be shut down. If, they're saying, we don't want you to play, and he's saying he wants to play. This is not about what's good for the Bucks or what's good for Giannis or tanking it is about what's good for the Bucks and Giannis, but this is not about tanking and draft picks and all that stuff. The Bucks are going to have the 9th or 10th pick, barring, some jump up in the lottery, and even then, they have to finish with a worse pick than the Pelicans because the Hawks get the better of the Bucks and Pelicans picks, with the other one going to Milwaukee. So it's not really even about that. It's just if Giannis is legitimately hurt, which he's had several leg injuries that are all legit leg injuries over the last few weeks, and we have also seen, if you saw this injury, it looked bad, and it was like, this is not great. It is. I will say this is something where it doesn't make sense why he would be insistent on, I need to play and I need to come back. It just really is one of those ones where I just don't get this, and I don't get what he feels is to be gained by this.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. And so you do expect us to see a change in the offseason with Giannis?
I do. I still think we're going to get down to him being on another team before all is said and done. I think it's just, again, the Bucks don't want to be like, well, we're trading him and look like the bad guys. He doesn't want to ask for a trade and look like the bad guy. I think it is, in a situation where he is, really he wants this, and it that's going to be what he's going to want to do. So I think we're just in a spot where it's really at this point it's going to be, all right, somebody needs to kind of come to their senses and say, yeah, it is time to time to do this, and that's just going to be what it's going to be.
A Giannis deal and a potential Ja Morant deal. Do you think both of those will be before the draft with picks involved for both of those players?
We'll see. I mean, it could be. I think it could be. With that, and it's there, and I think it. If maybe agreed to ahead of the draft, but not executed, just because when you're talking that kind of salary and those kind of players, it could be there. So I think that is where it could play out that way. So yeah, certainly could be that way.
What do you think's the good landing spot for Ja Morant, for him to restart and try to get that superstardom back?
I really don't know. I thought Miami would have made a lot of sense for him just because of how well they've done with players. Milwaukee doesn't make sense, especially with the Giannis stuff going on, and Giannis recently saying he doesn't really want to play with a ball-dominant point guard, so that doesn't make a lot of sense there because Ja is not a great off-ball guy. I really don't know. I mean, a lot of teams have point guards, and then if you look at this draft class coming in, if there is one position it is absolutely loaded in, it is point guard. I mean, we might have 5 or 6 guys drafted in the top 20 that are expected to be long-term point guards.
Yeah.
And last night at the Grizzlies game, I ran into the great Elliot Perry, who is the analyst on Memphis Grizzlies radio with Eric Hasseltine, and a great point guard in college and in the NBA. And we were talking about Darius Acuff, and I said to him, and Elliot was definitely one of these, Keith, the great point guards, they are born. They're not. A coach doesn't make them. They are born. And Elliot said the big thing about and what he likes about Acuff and those born point guards is look to pass first.
Yeah, I love Darius Acuff. He's 5th on my board, and I've had him there since December. And I took a lot of grief when I put that out there that my top 5 was Devonta, Peterson, Boozer, Wilson, and Acuff. And a lot of people are like, Darius Acuff, like, what are you thinking? And I fell in love with the kid watching him play. I mean, he is tough. He can finish. He can shoot. And as you said, he's a playmaker first. He's going to do everything he can to get guys shots and set them up. And then if he can't, he is going to be, very much in place to just kind of, just make things happen. Like he is really something else. And I think he's going to be a very, very special player in the NBA.
I was texting with an NBA agent friend this week, and I texted. I said, I think Acuff is a sane, and this is what I said, and I'll reveal the text. I said, I think he's a sane Allen Iverson. The person responded back to me, goes, I'll take the insane Allen Iverson. He goes, I'll take him sane or insane.
Yeah, that's fair, for sure. There's definitely some of that. That is definitely true. With that, I think AI was such a special player that it's hard to start comparing guys at all. But I think Acuff's going to be really, really good.
Yeah, no, he has been fun to watch. And that Arkansas team, they're looking good against Hawaii right now. The report from Shams Charania earlier this week about the NBA going to hold a vote at the Board of Governors meetings next week to explore adding expansion teams exclusively in Las Vegas and Seattle with the target season of 2028-2029. What did you make of that news? Not only we're getting some votes in place, but also the exclusivity of Las Vegas and Seattle.
Yeah, that tells me that it's that it's like, how do I explain this? This is serious, and like we're close here. I think we are really in a position now where this is going to happen. I think when we get into it with it's two cities and we're down to it, it is not a whole lot of beyond that as far as. We're going to listen to a whole bunch of pitches and take bids from all over. We want to be in Seattle. We want to be in Las Vegas. And we're going to take bids from ownership groups that want to be in those cities. And that's how this is going to play out. And I think that is, really where, we're in a place where, this makes a lot of sense, to go with those two cities. They've been the two kind of hottest, on the expansion, front for quite a while now, and they're just kind of going from there with that. So, I think this is going to happen. I think they wouldn't have leaked that news if they weren't fairly certain that they had the votes, and I think this is how it's going to go down.
Yeah, I said that to Bryant the other day. I said rhetorically, I said, you don't think there's any doubt that they have the votes, because I don't think they let it rise to this level for fear of not embarrassment, but somebody getting voted down. I think it's there. When we get to the 28-29 season, we have the Seattle Supersonics back, and we have Las Vegas. Do you want to keep divisions, or do you want 16 in the West in block and 16 in the East in block?
Yeah, I personally think it's time to just be done with divisions. What I would honestly really like to see is 2 16-team conferences. We're not going to get rid of conferences. That's not going to happen, at least anytime soon. So what I would like to see is you do that. You play everybody in your conference 3 times. There's 45 games, and then you play everybody in the other conference twice. There's another 32 games. There's 77 games. In the 5 games that you kind of go forward from there, you just like either those get made up in the in-season tournament, or we use this to. Let's eliminate even more back-to-backs and, give guys even more time off throughout the season. That's not going to be how it goes. I've given up on them playing less than 82 games in the regular season. I think, if anything, they're going to continue to add extraneous things onto it. But it for me, that's how I would like to see it done. But, one thing I do trust in the NBA is they're going to do, when it comes time to bring these teams in, which they're talking about the 28-29 season, so not next season, not the one after, but the one after that, is they're going to, I think, use this to kind of relook at things, a little bit, and kind of figure it out from there.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be fun. I'm excited for it.
I am too.
And excited to see how this plays out, because like you said, it's not like this is something way off. I mean, 3 years is when they want these teams playing.
There's plenty of talent out there. Tracy McGrady in that podcast, he was wrong about everything. There's plenty of players out there, if nothing else, from the international level. We're going to get more and more, and we're not going to eliminate 2 teams and bring in Vegas and Seattle.
No.
Yeah, that really bothered me quite a bit when they talked about the idea of, let's get, move teams from, you guys know, move a team from Memphis, or move the Pelicans, or, I even heard somebody still say, I know they won a title, but maybe the Thunder, shouldn't be there. Like, which is just absolutely ludicrous. Adam
what are they going to do with their new $2 billion arena?
Yeah, exactly, right? And Adam Silver has said over and over and over again, we want 30 teams in the markets they're in to be healthy, strong, and viable. And that is, I think that makes a lot of sense, right? Like, that's what you should want in that spot there. There should not be a position where you should be wanting to move and relocate teams like that. And I think when people say that, they don't bother to think of it. They just say it off the cuff, and I think some of it, Draymond Green, when he was talking about is like really hot tubs and all that, is that important to you in Nashville and all the things he was saying? But what they just say these things off the cuff because they don't think about, you just took away jobs from hundreds and thousands of people, that work around the team and make their living off the team, being there 40-plus nights a year, in the arena. And that's not something they care to think about. When they say they shouldn't expand and they should just move teams, well, that's a whole bunch of not just NBA jobs, but these are jobs for people that work in the arena, people work in facilities, parking, all the non-basketball people that would be getting jobs out of this. This is really, frustrating to me at times when, people say these things without, and I quite frankly think they just say them without thinking because they're just like, well, what would be cool is if, we were in this city instead. And that's just not fair to the cities that already have teams.
It's right there. What would be really cool if I won the Powerball is worth $1 billion.
Yeah, exactly, right? Yeah, there'd be a lot of things that would be really cool in life, and it's just, kind of interesting.
But
yeah, exactly.
Keith, I'd cut you in on part of the winnings, though.
I appreciate that. It doesn't need to be much. I've just got a couple bills I'd like to pay.
There you go. Well, Keith, we mentioned it bringing you on all the March Madness action. We know you're a basketball junkie, not just with the NBA. So who do you have winning March Madness?
I picked my official bracket that I did, which was part of our show's pool. I picked Houston. I really like their combination of offense and defense. They really get after it defensively. Yeah. They have experience because they've been there a couple times with some of the guys that are on this roster. It's a deep team. They've got some really good players, front court depth, guards, wings. I really like that Houston Cougars team.
Yeah, I like that. I like Houston a lot, and I would love to see Kelvin Sampson win a national championship. But Keith, as always, thanks so much for joining us. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy all this action, and we'll talk to you again next Thursday.
All right, thank you. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Keith.
Thank you, Keith, so much. I think everybody, especially when he's holding the trophy, and he would get very emotional. And I don't blame him. No. Kelvin Sampson would be popular winner.
Yeah, I think he would be. I think a lot of people have a lot of respect for Kelvin.
I think I might get emotional. And for me, the long-awaited finally for Phi Slamma Jamma in Houston.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean,
U of H.
It would be a sigh of relief for not just Kelvin Sampson, but for a lot of people in that Houston basketball program and fans and everyone. So it is it would be great if he could get the win. Now it's gonna be tough to get out of that region. You got to go through through Florida, some other good teams down there, but I think they've shown year after year that they can get through it. I would love to see them in one shining moment.
How high do you think CNAC their big will go in the draft?
I don't know. He's definitely a first rounder, I think.
Grizzlies need a big.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind. I think he's certainly more of a project. I don't think he's a guy that can go out there first game of the season and put up a bunch of points or a bunch of rebounds. But
I don't want any high maintenance and no projects.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think he probably would fit the project. I don't know the other side of that, but I think he's going to be a really good player. I like what I've seen out of him a lot. He's just very raw, and so maybe I know Keith has said it a lot. There are going to be guys in this class for this draft that are going to say, you know what, I can go back to school for a year, make a couple million, and I'll come out in 2027 when it right now at least is talked about as a much weaker draft, and be a top 5, top 10 pick. I wouldn't be surprised if Sinac's in that. Go back to Houston, and I think a lot of that would be determined of if something happens at the end of the season with Kelvin Sampson. But I wouldn't be surprised if he's a guy that comes back to college and plays one more season, then in 2027 becomes a top 10 lottery type guy.
Anchor down doors, a W. Move along in the bracket.
It's a fun game.
Is this real life? Saturday in Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
Vandy and Nebraska are going to meet. One of them will go to a Sweet 16.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, the more powerhouse in football is Vanderbilt.
How about that? So maybe it's Nebraska's due. They'll get the basketball win on
That's
Saturday.
crazy.
No, it is crazy.
That's
gonna
crazy
be a fun
Bill
game.
stuff, isn't it?
It really is. Those are two offenses that can really get up and down and can really light it up. So that'll be a fun game on Saturday to watch in OKC. But yeah, Vanderbilt, it was really close at times. That McNeese team put up a really strong fight, but ultimately Vanderbilt gets the 10-point win over McNeese. We talked about Duke earlier. They got a 6-point win over Siena. Not make a single substitution the entire game. All 5 of their starters played 40 minutes. So a tip of the cap to the starters for Siena because that's the only guys we got to know in March. The other games going on right now, Michigan State up 20 on North Dakota State, and Arkansas big on Hawaii as well, 54-39, both those games at halftime. We were talking about them. It was going to Blowout City, and then Hawaii comes back. They had a 10-point game, and then another big run from Arkansas.
They have some life at least.
They have some life. They've moved to a zone on defense now, so that kind of, you saw Arkansas kind of get tripped up by that. They weren't prepared for the zone, and now it looks like they're
Razorbacks are catching another gear.
No, they are. They are really, really impressive, and they've been really impressive so far. 54 points in the first half for the Razorbacks, and Trevon Brazile has been huge for them so far in this game. I think he's the X factor for this.
He's gotten longer in March, hasn't he?
No, he has. It feels like it. I mean, the way he can get above the rim has been impressive. He's got 9 points, 4 rebounds, 2 block shots right now. I know Darius Acuff's the best player on the team. Mike Thomas has been really, really good. They've got some other guys on that team. If Trevon Brazile can go out there and do what he's done in this first half consistently, this is an Arkansas team that can do a lot of winning. He feels like the X factor for this Razorbacks team. But let's get to another break. When we return, we're going to talk some more basketball. We'll talk the Grizzlies and their win last night over Denver. We'll probably also talk some more college basketball as well. We're talking basketball next on Sports Time.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Listen up, Rebel fans. Your next winning drive starts at Landers Ford in Collierville. Their game plan is simple. Find you the most savings possible. Make a trade, lower your payments, or let them buy your vehicle even if you don't buy from them. That's how you keep moving the chains. Just like the Grove on game day. Fans all across the Mid-South keep coming back to the #1 Ford dealership in Greater Memphis. See them today in Collierville or online at LandersFordMemphis.com. When you own a Landers Ford, you get the support of a certified service tech with the Landers Ford Remote Service Experience Program. They pick it up, drop it off, or fix it on the spot, so you're never left watching from the sidelines. To finish the drive, the iconic Landers Easy Pass always brings more for your trade and the biggest discounts to put you in victory formation. And now, straight from the 1977 Ole Miss football team that took down #1 ranked Notre Dame, the final snap of the day from Landers Ford President Don Kitchens.
If it doesn't say Landers, you paid too much.
As reported on Ford's 2024 Total New Vehicle Retail Sales Report, Memphis Market.
Uncorn flavor, Corky's barbecue. We're cooking it up, down home way. Hickory smoke flavor like the good old days.
Hey y'all, Jimmy Stovall here with Corky's Barbecue. With over 175,000 cars served in our drive-thru, 4,000 online pickup orders, and 1,500 party packs delivered to offices and events every year, Corky's is your trusted go-to barbecue for parties. Our party packs start at just $6.99 per person. You can choose 1, 2, or 3 meat combos, pick your favorite sides, and as you know, Corky's always gives you plenty of food, so you never worry about running out. Whether it's pickup or delivery, we've got you covered. Corky's makes it easy to impress your guests. Visit Corky'sBBQ.com to order for your next gathering today.
Uncorn flavor, Corky's barbecue.
Rebel Nation, get the latest on everything Ole Miss sports with the Cannon Motors of Mississippi Rebel Yell Hotline. Join Rebel insiders Chuck Rounsville, Yancey Porter, and Gary Darby Monday nights at 6 as they break down the latest with the Rebels, along with even more insight from special guests. Rebel Yell Hotline, Mondays at 6 p.m. on WHPQ.
Stay up to date with everything going on in Ole Miss athletics with Rebel Yell Hotline every Monday night from 6 to 7 on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
If you want to make money in sales, Flynn Broadcasting wants you. If you can sell, Flynn Broadcasting has a great career waiting for you. If you can sell, we have great benefits, salary, commission, sales leads, and a great place to work. If you can sell, let us know today. Send your resume to jobs@flynn.com. Can everyone sell? No. But if you can, Flynn Broadcasting wants you. Apply today at jobs@flynn.com. Start your great career today at jobs@flynn.com. Flynn Broadcasting wants you. This traffic report brought to you by City Center Liquor just off Highway 70 in Lakeland. Local, friendly, and always fully stocked. For a 5% discount, tell them Sports 56 sent you.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. It's cranking up right on schedule with that volume over here as we check it out live on 240, especially coming eastbound here at Mill Branch, all the way out to 385 as you get on the Bill Morris Parkway. Expect that to crank it up pretty good out towards Collierville, possibly here in the next 15, 20 minutes. It's a steady flow of traffic building up out of Midtown right now on I-40, especially around the 101 connector as you come past Watkins. Hey, bridal season just around the corner. Shop local at Breimer's Jewelry and save a ton of money. They're located 7525 Highway 64. I'm Commander Chuck, your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Landers Ford in Collierville. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Grizzlies were winners last night, 125-118. We haven't been able to say that many times this year, but the Grizzlies were winners last night over the Denver Nuggets. This was the game, I think we talked about it yesterday. Denver was like a 14, 15-point favorite when we were going off the air last night. So a heavy favorite, but it was the Grizzlies that played really, really well. We talked about it earlier. You had all 5 starters finish with 11 or more points. Ty Jerome was really, really good. You had Taylor Hendricks come off the bench with 13 points. So a really nice night for the Grizzlies, and some of these young pieces on the other side for the Nuggets really struggled shooting the ball at times. The turnovers were there for them, 19 turnovers, including 10 from Nikola Jokic. Not what you expect from Nikola Jokic. So it was a win, and we'll see what the Grizzlies do from here. Their next game against the Boston Celtics, a Boston Celtics team that has played extremely well all season, but especially as of late, getting Jason Tatum back. So it was going to be a tough stretch, but now you've beaten Denver, and now we'll see what happens at home Friday night against Boston.
Are we really going to get through the Jokic years and Denver will have only won one with him?
That's a good question. It felt like when Denver won that first, that, oh man, we were getting ready to ride that roller coaster.
And the NBA, it kind of comes in gobs of them.
No, it definitely does. And, it felt like we were going to get a handful of them from Denver. But so far, we just haven't gotten anything since then. And, looking at this roster,
coaches.
It's been weird, and so I really don't know what to expect from them.
And we got the real Nuggets last night. I mean, that was they played that game start to finish to win. What was Jokic's minutes? About 36 minutes.
39 minutes last night for Nikola.
Even more than I thought. I mean, they were out there and battling.
Yeah, no, they were, and I thought they were gonna end up winning that game late in the fourth quarter, made it close, and I said, okay, here it is. This is when the Grizzlies let off the gas a little bit, and the Nuggets end up winning this game. But no, that was a game the Grizzlies saw as a very winnable game for them. They wanted to go out and win that game, and you saw those guys go out there and make winning plays. So, a fun game to watch in a season that's been a lot of losses. To get that type of home win over the Nuggets, even if that is, if you go 1-9 your next 10 games, I think to be able to show those young players you can go out and beat a Denver team that's playing all of their guys, to show the fans these guys can go out there and beat a Denver team that's playing all their guys. I thought it was a fun night at FedEx Forum.
Yeah, but we don't need but about 1 or 2 more wins this year. That's enough.
Yeah,
Wrap it up.
That's the thing. Like, I'm not sitting. I'm happy they won last night. Like, I enjoyed that game a ton watching it. But yeah, you don't want this team rattling off a win streak now and getting a bunch of wins. But I think after all the losses that have stacked up, I think seeing a win is good. Sometimes you got to have a win to just kind of keep people around and keep guys interested on the team because losing's tough. And so I thought that was fun last night against Denver.
Yeah, last night was my 14th game to have attended this year, and only my 5th win. I'm 5-9.
Wow, how about that? Well, it's
started 2-1.
It's been downhill since. I think that reflects a lot of this season for the Grizzlies. So I don't
kind of parallels.
Yes,
doesn't
do
it?
not feel that you are the reason these losses have stacked up by you being in attendance.
On the Penny Hardaway presser yesterday, one question: Are you at all? And we'll ask Greg this in a little bit. Are you at all alarmed, bothered, disturbed, or no big deal about without the GM in place? Him in telling the 8 players they can return if they want to, but need to know something by Friday.
Yeah, I think, we talked about that yesterday, and that was one of my questions of, what does that mean? Does that mean we'll have a conversation about if we feel like we want you back, or is that hey, if you want to come back, we've got a spot for you? Because, obviously if you go out there and all 8 guys come in today or tomorrow and say, Coach, we really feel like we bonded as a team. We're all running it back next year. Then, you don't want that. I don't expect that to happen.
That's not a great season ticket pitch.
No. And I don't expect that to happen. I expect some guys to leave on their own, but I do expect Penny Hardaway to have some conversation with guys and say maybe it's best for both of us if you're not back next year. And I do think, NIL would play a role in that.
It's kind of the Bachelor playing out with Tiger basketball tomorrow. Who's going to
no kidding.
Who's going to make the cut?
Yeah, so I've said it for weeks now that I wish that the Tigers already had a general manager in place. If they're going to hire, if the Tigers go into 2026 season with a general manager on staff, I would have really wished that they would have already had that guy hired by now so that they can kind of be the front man on all of this and really help Penny Hardaway in all of this. But it didn't alarm me. I mean, you've got to make these decisions. You've got to put yourself in a spot, and especially after what happened last year with PJ Haggerty, I think obviously situations are different. If a guy like PJ Haggerty comes to you and says, I need some time to think about it, you're probably going to say, yeah, take some time, think about it, sleep on it. We'd love for you to have you back. But you look at this roster, you don't want to get in that same situation this year where you're holding out or you're making decisions. I don't think there's many guys on this team that you would really hold out for if they're playing the waiting game. So I did not mind it at all, Penny Hardaway saying, I need an answer by Friday. Now, what comes next? Does that just mean you're back? All right, great. Glad to have you. Or does that mean you tell me you want to be back? Now we're going to have another conversation of what that role is going to be, what the NIL is going to be, what we see for you coming back, and then we ultimately come to a final answer.
Yeah, I think among that 8 grand total NIL, about $58.
Yeah, no, I think whatever it was last year, I think it's coming down substantially. So we'll see.
I think you heard and saw the disappointment when the quad box were all 4 in commercial.
Yeah.
It can always get worse. I only have 2 games up now. We're in that part of the afternoon.
Yeah, we are. And, looking at the schedule, you saw that little afternoon lull. And
Come on, get more basketball going.
We've got 2 games right now. Both are, moving towards blowout territory with Michigan State and Arkansas, both in control. Michigan State back early in the second half. Arkansas getting ready to start the second half, and we don't got another game starting until about 5:50 or so. So yeah, we got some downtime before we really get the nightcap starting up and rolling.
Great event though.
Oh yeah, no, it's a lot of fun. It's be tough at times trying to keep up with all the games, but it's fun and we enjoy it. And but I'll be honest, like it's kind of nice to have a little.
Kind of settled in.
Let's slow down a little bit. Let's recap everything that happened in the day. Let me really focus on these 2 games instead of having to watch 4 games at the same time.
And now on the Richter scale, it's more around your 5.
Yeah,
it has kind of settled in.
Yeah, I mean, the upsets are great. I hope we get more upsets, but I outside of High Point and then the scare by Siena, that I guess you could say a 6-point loss constitutes as a real scare for Duke, but it's been these favorites kind of oh yeah, I think they will. And I mean, I think we're seeing and you saw it in the first game of the ACC tournament where they really struggled against Florida State, and then a lot of people were going, oh man, this Duke team might not win the conference, and they rolled and won the conference. And I think you're going to see the same thing here where they struggled in that first game, but I think kind of able to see what they have now, missing those 2 guys that are injured. And I'm sure look, these are all college-age kids. I'm sure they came in against Siena and said, we can name the score against this group, and we'll take this one off today. And then they look up and they're down double digits, and they go, oh no. And you could see, Cameron Boozer was playing really, really tight most of the game, and had a lot of mistakes throughout the afternoon. So I think it was one of those where they probably all expected a very easy win, and then once they got down big, they got tight, and then ultimately kind of loosened up late in the game and really rallied back to get that big win.
Listen up, Mid-South. Landers Ford in Collierville says make no payments for 90 days. That's right, during Ford Truck Month. Your number one Ford dealer gives you payment relief. New Ford F-150, 0% APR financing for 60 months. Zero down payment, zero payments for 90 days. Are you listening? Do I have your attention yet? New F-150s, 0% APR financing for 60 months, zero down payment, zero payments for 90 days. Get started now with their Landers Easy Pass at Landers Ford, Memphis.com, Game Zone, all day and into the night. Shop one of the largest selection of new Fords before they're sold out. It's only once a year during this crazy month, 0% APR, zero down payment, zero payments for 90 days. You heard it here first. There's zero to pay to drive today, first thing tomorrow morning into the weekend. Give them a call to schedule your test drive at Landers Ford in Collierville. If it doesn't say Landers, you paid too much.
Let's go ahead and get to another break. When we return, it'll be time for Big Number of the Day.
You have opinions?
I think it's over.
Of course you do.
I don't think it's that simple.
Everyone does.
I got all the answers.
Hit us up on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener line at 360-8255.
The 2025 Range Rover Sport sits right at the heart of the Land Rover lineup, offering a perfect mix of style, performance, and versatility. Smaller and more agile than a full-size Range Rover, it's a great option for everyone who wants luxury and practicality. Every model comes with 8-speed automatic transmission and all-wheel drive standard. Whether you navigate city streets or tackle rough terrain, Range Rover Sport has you covered. Every drive is powerful and breathtaking. The 2025 Range Rover Sport is the epitome of sporting luxury. Test drive one at Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City.
Napa Cafe celebrates 28 years in 2026.
Hi, I'm Glenda Hastings, owner of Napa Cafe, and I want to thank you for making us part of your dining experiences. If you are a first-time guest or have dined with us countless times, I want to thank you for making us part of your lives. Whether you're celebrating with the crowd or planning a cozy date night on the town, Napa Cafe can provide you an extraordinary evening. We have 5 dining rooms, including our private wine cellar, our Jan's room for 2 guests, and the Eleanor room for parties up to 60. Sit back, relax, and celebrate. Leave the cooking to us. Come see me at Napa Cafe, 5101 Sanderlin Avenue. We're open Wednesday through Saturday for dinner starting at 5 o'clock. We also offer curbside pickup from our full menu. For details on our stay-in, dine-out menu or reservations, visit our website at napacafe.com. We can't wait to serve you.
Come join in and celebrate 28 years of Napa Cafe in 2026.
It's a new year, and it's the first new sale at Family Leisure. It's the floor model sale happening now. Family Leisure has deep, like diving deep discounts on over 100 display models and in-stock hot tubs, swim spas, even those cold plunges. How deep are these discounts? I'm not allowed to say. So if you've been putting off getting a new spa, then right now is the best time to buy. Here's one price I can let loose. You can get a spa as low as $99 a month. Plus, you can get over $1,000 in upgrades with every spa purchased. One other special deal, you can get an $8,000 spa for only $159 a month. And you know what? Family Leisure is going to throw in some LED lights and waterfalls on most models. Room's got to be made, and so do the deals at Family Leisure, Whitten Road and I-40, where family and fun come together.
March is known for its madness, and once again this year, that madness could lead to cash in your pocket. UTJ at Classic Arms is so excited about his fall's chances in the tournament, he's partnering with us to give away $98.50 to a lucky winner every time Tennessee wins a game. So cheer on the Volunteers, and when they win, tune into Sports 56 mornings the next day for your chance to win $98.50. Thanks to Classic Arms and Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Hi, I'm Ryan Saharovich, a proud partner with NST Injury Attorneys. For over 35 years, we've been fighting for Memphis families after serious accidents when insurance companies are trying to pay as little as possible. We don't back down. NST is the way to go.
Kubota Orange Days are here, so come see them Friday, April 3rd, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Saturday, April 4th from 8 until noon at First Choice Farm and Lawn. And be sure to join me, Johnny Radio, from Sports 56, Friday, April 3rd, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. for Garibaldi's Pizza. Some fun and a lot of Kubota Orange. From America's #1 selling compact tractor to zero-turn mowers and versatile RTVs. Get your perfect match. Get 0 down, 0% financing, and discounts up to $2,000 on select models of mowers, tractors, and construction equipment. See the details at KubotaOrangeDays.com. Kubota Orange Days, Friday and Saturday, April 3rd and 4th, plus Sports 56 and Johnny Radio. Friday, April 3rd from 11 to 1, giving away Garibaldi's. For 50 years, Memphis has been going to Garibaldi's for great pizza, and it's still a Memphis favorite. And we're giving it away at First Choice Farm and Lawn, 12701 Highway 64 East in Eads.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Landers Ford in Collierville. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
And she says, I wish that I could be like the cool kids.
Big Daddy. Hello, Big Brand. It's a guy, he wants to be big, then he gets big, he doesn't want to be big anymore, then he gets small, but the suit's too big. Big Daddy. The big boy. What up, big guy? I think she's trying to pull a fast one on Big Daddy.
The big number of the day.
Well, Brett, my big number today comes from Dayton last night and Miami, Ohio. Their win over SMU. We'll go with the big number 89. Last night, Miami, Ohio scored 80 or more points. They finished with 89. Dished out 20 or more assists. They finished with exactly 20. Made 15 or more threes. They finished with 16 and had fewer than 5 turnovers. They finished the game with only 4. Never in NCAA tournament history had any team done that, all of those 4 things in a single game. Miami, Ohio did it last night in Dayton to punch their ticket to the first round with a 10-point win over SMU. Now they'll set up for a game tomorrow against Tennessee, and we'll see what they can do against the Vols.
My big number is a really famous number in the city of Memphis for sports. My big number is 59. No, it's not for Al Guyberger. That 59 summer of 1977 at Colonial South. But it's for someone else that really has, did a lot in Memphis, and that's John Calipari. He's at 59 NCAA tournament wins. We're close to rolling over the odometer and calling it 60, but he goes into today with 59 NCAA tournament wins, 21-3 in the first round, 16-5 in the second round, 12-4 in Sweet 16s, 6-6 in Elite 8s, 3-3 in semifinal games, 1-2 in finals, 11-5 at UMass, 14-6 at Memphis, 32-11 at Kentucky, and 2-1 going into today at Arkansas.
Yeah, it's good stuff. And
Brian, we got to do this at some point this summer. I talk about Larry Finch and most important sports figure in the history of Memphis, and probably on a list of Memphians. We're not going to do the Memphis list. We're going to keep it to sports. John Calipari's way up there, isn't he?
Oh, yeah. No, I think so. I definitely think so. For all the bad blood, hard feelings that came after the fact, he gave Memphis some great years and some years that really changed what Memphis was at the time in terms of basketball, and certainly put them on a higher pedestal at the time. Obviously, they had reached those heights before, but to get them back to that point was massive.
Mm-hmm. And if you kept it to coaches and players, if you didn't go administrators, contributors, because Fred Smith sure would be on a contributing list. Bud Dudley with bringing the Liberty Bowl to Memphis would be there. But if you kept it to coaches and players, John Calipari would be in your top 3 or 4, wouldn't he?
Oh, no, I think he definitely would be. I think you would absolutely have him
Larry
in
Finch
there.
having played and coached.
Yeah, No, I mean, I think I think those two are certainly locks. I'd have
Keep
to
that filed away.
Yeah,
Summertime July radio.
Definitely. No,
that we never get to.
That's the unfortunate part of it.
I'm not so sure Al Guyberger's not in the top 10. Think about it.
Well, I don't know. You could make a good argument.
Be
for
closer
it.
to 10 than 1.
No,
But
definitely. But I think you could certainly make a good argument for it. But that's a really good big number. And like you said, looks like Arkansas will close in on this win. But gotta give Hawaii credit. They have been battling against Arkansas a couple times.
If we roll the tote board over to 60 and somehow, some way, Hawaii came back, Arkansas fans would blame it on us forever.
Yeah. Well, and that's why I said it looks like. I don't want to do it yet because you never know.
Do you ever yellow highlight or move a team in the bracket before the clock hits zeros?
No, I don't.
No, never. I never do.
No.
I never send the text "good win" until it's all zeros.
That's right, man. No, gotta wait till the end. Crazy things happen, but you do got to give Hawaii credit. There's been a couple times in this game where Arkansas has gotten up 20 and really looked like they're going to run away with it, and Hawaii finds ways to fight back and get it to about 10-point games, and then you kind of see the yo-yo effect going back and forth with Arkansas and Hawaii. But this Arkansas team really, really solid, back up to a 17-point lead over the Rainbow Warriors. So looking good for Arkansas so far, and will set up an interesting matchup with a lot of people jumping on the High Point train with their win over Wisconsin. So there will certainly be a lot of eyes on that game on Saturday. Yeah, no, they've been super solid all season long, but now doing it on the biggest scale, and I'm sure a lot of people that's going to be their team that they're saying that could be Cinderella, and they'll have eyes on that game on Saturday.
Vanderbilt really took care of business, didn't they?
Yeah, I mean, it was a good game. McNeese played really well and, made it really close pretty much throughout the entire game.
With Carl Sharonfont on the McNeese
that's right.
Cowboys.
He sure is. And he's gotten playing time throughout the season.
Kind of his traditional stat line, though.
Yeah.
0 points, 0 rebounds, a lot of zeros.
How many minutes did he play? I don't.
1 minute.
I was about to say. I know. I was looking at that earlier this week, seeing what all the former Tiger guys had done this season, and saw that he had at least been getting in games down at McNeese.
Their coach, Bill Armstrong, at McNeese, the former Andy Kennedy assistant at Ole Miss.
Yes, I believe. Yeah, that is right.
And infamously, he was in the cab when Andy lost his mind in Cincinnati that night.
Yeah. He's done a nice job with this McNeese team, obviously taking over for Will Wade and all the success that Will Wade had. Now this McNeese team, another one of those teams that really rolled through conference play, got to the tournament on a big time win streak and played really close with Vanderbilt. Gave them a fight. It was just towards the end, Vanderbilt really able to run away with that game and win by 10 points.
Tough question with a minute and a half to go before we go to break. Really tough question. Where do you think the recruiting gurus miss the most, football or basketball?
Oh, that's it's a really hard question, Brett.
Because Carl Sharonfont inspires us. How are you that wrong about it?
Yeah, I mean, I think
I know the position of football is quarterback.
Sure.
Where they miss.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I think with basketball it's really tough, just because there's only however many positions and so many guys out there, and so it can make it, I think.
And everybody's considered a 4-star.
Yeah, I mean, everyone is in all these different sites, or I mean, you could see a guy that's a borderline 3-star from being a 2-star on one side, and he's a 4-star on another site. So I would say probably basketball, just because I feel like you get thrown out there quicker, and so it's quicker to see and quicker to look, and those falls can kind of come up and become more permanent flaws than where football.
And another thing that hurt college basketball, and they were so great, everybody expects that next class to be the Fab Five.
Sure. Well, and they expect all these guys to come in and play immediately. Wherein as football, I mean, you'll see a lot of teams that bring in a 4-star guy, and he doesn't see the field at all.
You go wait a while.
Yeah. And they really develop them, and kind of let him watch. Whereas in basketball, you get out there pretty quickly. So I would lean basketball, but I think it's a really tough question. for sure, because I think
with a minute and a half to go, you handle it well.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. We need to get to a break, and when we return, we're going to talk all things Tigers. We'll talk Tiger football. We'll talk a lot of Tiger basketball. Greg Gaston, he was in attendance for the press conference yesterday afternoon with Penny Hardaway and Ed Scott, so we'll get his thoughts on everything he heard, so don't go anywhere. Greg Gaston, he joins us next.
Guns, guns, and more guns. Over 700 firearms in stock. Home defense guns, old guns, new guns, used guns, big guns, little guns. Every gun you can think of, Classic Arms has them. All brands like Glock, Sig, Colt, Ruger, Smith & Wesson, Brownie, Beretta, Benelli, Remington, Winchester, and more. Guaranteed lowest prices in town. Only gun importer in the Mid-South. Free gun inspections and appraisals and free bore sighting for the upcoming deer season. Shop online at ClassicArmsOfMemphis.com or visit Classic Arms at 1740 Germantown Parkway behind Corky's Barbecue in Cordova.
This is Julie Molay-Mary, and I'm with Mark Spensdorf Realtors. I wanted to dispel any rumors about Sheldon Rosengarten, also with Mark Spensdorf Realtors, being the worst golfer in town. Is that what you wanted me to say, Sheldon?
Yes, Julie, with your stellar career in real estate in Florida and now here, and you also being the Florida Girls State High School champion, in addition to playing for Florida Gulf Coast, I know people would want your opinion about my golf game.
Well, Sheldon, it's a good thing you're great at real estate, because your golf game is underwater, where most of your golf balls end up.
Thanks a lot. You know, people often say that when you want the job done, you call Sheldon.
Yes, but they also say that if someone is wanting to sell a home or buy one, I make it easy, so they call Julie Molay-Mary at 305-0112.
Got it. And you can reach me, Sheldon Rosengarten, at 483-0546 or MemphisRelocate.com. That's MemphisRelocate.com or 483-0546.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus of Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
Rick's Powder Coating for a beautiful finish every time. Rick's Powder Coating specializes in automotive, ornamental, residential, and industrial coating. With 2 conveyor lines and the largest batch ovens in the Mid-South, Rick's can accommodate all of your powder coating needs. Locally owned and operated since 2002, Rick's Powder Coating will customize a beautiful finish just for you. Drop by or call to see how Rick's Powder Coating can bring color to your life. 901-367-2771 or rickspowdercoating.com.
Step up your wings game at East Coast Wings and Grill. With over 60 wing flavors and 7 heat indexes, do you have what it takes to turn the heat on your wings up to insanity? East Coast Wings and Grill is family friendly with a large variety menu to satisfy the whole bunch. Sign up today for their loyalty program and taste the rewards. For every $1 you spend, you collect a point. Earn 100 points and receive a $5 reward. Next to Lowe's off Highway 64 in Bartlett, come try America's best wings at East Coast Wings and Grill.
Drivers who switch their home and auto with Progressive could save money and time. Other things try to do this, but they really don't. Like the touchscreen at fast food places. It's not like you save time because it takes you longer to use a touchscreen than, I don't know, someone who works there. And another thing, you'd think it would save money because they're not paying a cashier, right? But no, same price. Also, why is there an option to tip? Who am I tipping? Exactly. Anyway, even if you can't save money and time with some things, you could with a Progressive home and auto bundle. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers not available in all states or situations.
This traffic report is brought to you by Millington Weight Loss. For more information, call 901-436-0272.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. Cranking it pretty good over here with a lot more volume. Pretty much on schedule 40 coming eastbound here from Sycamore View Road all the way out into Fayette County. No shortage of radar out there in Fayette County on and off today. Be careful, especially I-40 coming past Chambers Chapel, Canada Road. Hey, that low-cost drive-through vaccine clinic, it's back this Saturday at the Humane Society of Memphis, Shelby County. Check out memphishumane.org for all the details. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis with John Harden. Weekdays from 11 to 1. Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back in Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you as we start our third and final hour on this Thursday afternoon. We've got to talk Tigers. We do it at this time on Thursdays with Greg Gaston.
From the Tigers sideline, it's Tigers Talk with Memphis broadcasting legend Greg Gaston. Hear Greg weekday mornings on Sports 56 Mornings, along with Eli Savoy from 7 to 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. On Twitter X at Greg_Gaston. Here's Greg with Bryant and Brett.
Greg Gaston joins us now like he does every Thursday to talk Tigers, and a lot to get to, but it's a lot of basketball to discuss with the offseason officially here. What did you make of what you heard from both Penny Hardaway and Dr. Ed Scott yesterday afternoon?
Oh, first of all, guys, good afternoon. Happy big dance to you. Enjoying lots of basketball. Yeah, unfortunately, the Tigers not a part of it, as you said. What did I come out of that press conference thinking about? Well, a couple of things. First of all, it does seem like that finally the stubbornness of Penny wanting to do everything has gone to the wayside. He understands that he needs help. He admitted that he needs help. He will get the help. That's first and foremost. Second, that Dr. Scott has his back, but I think he's also laid down the foundation for if this happens next season, we won't be talking about if there's a possibility Penny will be retained, because he will not be, even with still money that will be owed. I think Penny understands the urgency of what has to happen. Those were a couple of things. Number three, all the rumor about the general manager having somebody to help Penny in identifying personnel, that is coming to fruition. The help that they're going to get even through AI, as Dr. Scott talked about, with a professor that does these type of things, can put the numbers into the. I couldn't tell you how it works, but you come up with lists of players that they're particularly looking for. They can come up with options. I think that's cool. I think Dr. Scott talking about the mental capacity of the players. Now, I don't know how you're going to be able to do that, but I think what he says makes an awful lot of sense. Where are these players when they come to Memphis mentally? They may be physically ready to go, but are they bought in? Are they ready to lay it on the line for Memphis basketball and for the city of Memphis? So those are just some of the things scratching the surface that I thought came out of it. And then, of course, the big one, well, one of the big ones is the fact that they have offered all 8 players with eligibility a chance to return with a deadline of tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. What time is that deadline tomorrow? 'Cause I'm ready to see the I'm ready to see the kind of the Bachelor meets the U of M basketball program.
I don't know what the time of the deadline is, and I know Jason Munz during the presser was trying to get Penny to say maybe a player or two if they've already made
midnight's got to be the deadline. That's tomorrow, right? Tomorrow night at midnight.
It's tomorrow night. We know it won't go longer than tomorrow night at midnight. Absolutely, but it could be tomorrow at noon. Could be tomorrow at 3. Maybe there's really not a hard out except for sometime on Friday. But Mun's asking about, have you had players yet tell you whether they're in or out? And Penny kind of went mum on that. So it's obvious that some players have already committed. Now, the talk is, and we don't have the figures, nobody has the figures in the media, but that all these players are taking haircuts, and some even are going bald. Let's just put it that way. If you're going to retain 8 players from a team that was the least amount of wins and the most losses in 56 years, and you're retaining 8 of those guys, well, it's going to be guys that, first of all, that you believe will put effort into it and have put effort into it, and number 2, you're not going to give them much money at all.
See, Greg,
because you're saving.
I knew Coach Hardaway was talking about you. You're the one posting all that negative stuff. You're that media member that's not for them. It's Greg Gaston that's not for the Tigers. I knew it was you.
Oh, no, it's none of us. It's nobody. I mean, that's the one thing that still sticks in our crawl, drives us crazy. I don't get it. I just don't understand why Penny thinks that the media is out to get him. They're absolutely not. I mean, if this was Philadelphia media, New York media, Chicago, Boston, oh my gosh,
Greg,
how bad that would be.
This is this is kindergarten playground compared to the last days of Larry Finch.
This is nothing. And the thing is, I think that he may confuse a story that talks about getting blown out or a 5-game losing streak or this or that as somebody coming after him. But that's not. They're just stating the facts. They can't put a pig out there, put lipstick on it, and say it's Kate Upton. They can only do what they can. I don't see any of the media, especially those that cover on the beat like Jason and Parth, really ever going at them in negative stuff. I think they bend over backwards to try to make it as positive. I know what Penny's saying. We're all in this, the city, and this. Well, media has their job to do, and I think this is a very fair media here in Memphis and to Penny Hardaway. And then from a personal standpoint, even though I don't have a dog in the fight as far as being a Memphis alum, I want him to succeed. I think most people want him to succeed. Certainly we're not going to be out there as cheerleaders in the media, but I think it's a lot. I've said this before. It's a lot easier to cover teams that win than cover teams that lose. And so it's a lot easier for us to make it easier, have them win. And so I don't think anybody's outwardly going, oh, yeah, we want this guy to fail. But when there's going to be criticism that needs to be made public, whether in a print story, whether on the radio, on a podcast, whatever the case may be, I don't think that's not a personal attack, number one. And number two, it's something that needs to be said. You can't sugarcoat everything. So I don't know why Penny continues with that narrative. That's the only thing that really still makes me scratch my head. Other than that,
there's no shaking him from it either. I mean,
there's no.
I've said this a couple times while he's been on the mistreatment tangent. I don't care who you are, I've got one or two things in my life about it. Once you decide they're out to get me, nothing will change your mind. Nothing.
You can't change it. Look, he was obviously he hit that one point in the presser where he was extremely emotional. He talked about his passion, his love. What was the one quote? I'll die for this.
He'd die for it. And he would. He would.
Everybody knows that.
And he has bled and sweat and fretted and lost sleep over it. And we know that, and that's why nobody's out to get him. Nobody wants to be the takedown guy, Penny Hardaway.
Absolutely. And look, nobody, like you just said, nobody is denying his love, his passion for this unit. The guy has more money that he can go to the Bahamas for the rest of his life. He can leave the area. No, Penny, if you're listening, please.
Man, he can go to the south of France the rest of his
life. Well, wherever. That's the first thing that came to mind.
Yeah.
But he can do whatever he wants. Nobody is denying his love, his passion, that it kills him more than anybody when they lose. It certainly does more than the players. I guarantee you that. Penny has a passion for this university and wants to be successful and certainly doesn't want to leave until he is successful. And I can tell you personally that when I've had chances to be in close quarters with Penny in his office talking about games and things like that, he has been nothing but open to me. He has been very gracious with his time. I would have no problems. I've been out in Vegas with him when they had his birthday celebration and played in the golf tournament. I love the guy. I think he's a great guy. But I don't think if people are critical when criticism is necessary, that is a personal attack or that they don't want him to succeed. I think he's confusing that a little bit. But other than that, his passion and that monologue that he presented is right on. Nobody had an issue with that.
Now, John Calipari famously once had a great line. Dave is interviewing Cal on the coach's show, like on Monday night or something, and Dave said, John, you sound a little paranoid. He goes, I got reason to be. A lot of people are after me. So every coach has always thought people were out to get him. Every coach of every sport at every school. Paranoia and brooding is central personality traits for every coach.
I'll tell you a quick story. And I may have said this before, but John, when he came to Memphis, I was on a radio show in New Orleans, and I used the term, he had a little baggage or something like that. And it was just this obscure, not obscure show, but it's New Orleans. How does that get back to people? And I wasn't trying to make any big deal about it. I just said, and I got a call about that, saying that. I go, what are you talking about? I mean, so yes, there's certainly paranoia with coaches. They're very thin-skinned. When you find the next thick-skinned coach, tell me, because that'll be the first one.
Yeah, it absolutely will be. Penny also talked about kind of fast-tracking the hiring process for the assistants. We saw the news earlier this week about getting rid of 3 assistants, also a change with the strength and conditioning coach. What do you think Penny Hardaway is looking for? What do you think he should be looking for in terms of these assistants, and what do you think that timeline looks like?
Yeah, the timeline's going to be very, very quick. But first of all, the heads had to roll, right? Dr. Scott wasn't going to get up there and say, "Listen, hey, we're going to roll it back. Everything's fine. You got your head coach is being retained, so that means the soldiers have to fall for the king, and the soldiers fell, and so that's not a surprise. And then the strength guy who they got from the NBA, who was making some good money and was very well respected, they let go of him as well. So as you said, so that's 4 very important hirings. Plus, you throw in that general manager-esque player, coach rather, or not coach, but general manager position, which will be instrumental. And in my opinion, if that's the route they go, unless they have a change of mind, that is the second most important position to the head coach. That is an extremely important position. But those assistant coaches, instead of just going for a big name, which they've tried, going for former NBA players, which they've tried, going for friends or Memphis connections, which they've tried, it can be that. It can be all of them. But just make sure you think about it before you make the hires. Who is going to be good as a tactician and strategizing and game planning? Are you going to have all 3 of them do it? You're going to have one do it. Who is really good that will be able to work on maybe some zone defense to try to put that into the repertoire of things that Penny probably needs to look at? Who is good maybe in developing players, developing big men? Who's good maybe with the point guard or the guard? You got to look. You just can't hire to hire. And I'm not saying he's done that in the past, but in the past, you think about some of the names that have been on this staff. Guys at the very end of their careers. What did Larry Brown have left in the tank? What did Mike Davis have left in the tank? Sam Mitchell, was he going full force when he got here? A very well-respected guy with the NBA ties, but were they pounding the pavement on the recruiting trails? I don't know any of that stuff, but, I mean, he went through a lot of them to be able to get those that really make sense in certain areas, I think is the way to go. And hopefully, if it ends up being a good year, that they are around for another year, that there's not more changes again at those assistant coaching positions, because I think they're going to become more important now that Penny has basically said that he needs help and is going to relent a little bit of that power. I'm sure it's not going to be a lot, but it's going to be a little bit of that power and depend more on the assistant coaches to help him.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. And like you said, I mean, we could be getting news very, very soon, so we'll kind of get a better idea of what that relationship will look like. You mentioned that a program that Penny Hardaway is working with another professor for the kind of AI and kind of spit out some names when you put something in. So if you had to put in a prompt to spit out some players for next season's Memphis Tiger basketball team, what would that prompt be?
For the first thing I would do is give me a 6'2" to 6'4", not 1, 2 or 3 of them, shooters that right now are shooting 40% from 3.
Yeah.
I don't care where they come from. You can get them from the moon. Give me 3 of those guys. If you can get those guys, okay, now we're talking business here. Now we're starting on the right track. So that I would absolutely be looking at that. And then he's done a good job over the years in finding the point guard. Look, Doug was the most consistent player, and you could argue the best player they had this year, but the lack of size hurt them in certain games. Some of the decision-making, he turned the ball over a little bit too much, but really, he was the best they had. But they've had great point guards in the past. So Penny, as a former point guard, as a tall, big point guard, a guy who had the ball in his hands, he kind of has a grasp of that. So let Penny dictate that position, but also within reason because of financial restraints. And then you got to also throw in that 6'8" to 6'10" 2. Give me 2 for Roche. Now, I don't know how you would do this with AI because I'm talking about the intangibles, the physical guys that you come down the lane, you're going on your backside. Though I need 2 of those guys, so I don't know what you put into a computer for that. But they don't necessarily have to be big-time shooters or big-time scorers. It'd be nice that they could score the ball, but they are playing ferocious defense. Give me those guys, that point guard, those shooters, and those 2 guys. Now I fill in the blanks with the rest of the guys, and we got a team. That's my opinion. That's the way I would go.
Greg, right now, and they are, Dr. Scott and Coach Hardaway and the powers that be, there are a lot of issues to address. This is not one of those situations where there's a hole or two. There are several holes in and around the program, and I think a gaping hole is the lack of rear ends in the seats or people in the building. Never mind what the box score says, what's actually there. Can that all be fixed with a rough and tumble November, December schedule at FedEx Forum? Because eventually November and December comes and goes, and we settle into Rice and ECU on a Sunday afternoon.
No, it can't be all fixed. There's too much. There's too much to be fixed. The conference schedule's the conference schedule. And so you're asking people to spend money on season tickets where the bulk of those games are against those opponents. That's a tough ask. But if you can come out of the gates and play well non-conference like you have 2 of the last 3 years, that at least will get the attention back of people. I don't think you're going to get some big numbers as far as people selling or buying, season tickets in the spring and in the summer. It's going to be, let's wait and see what happens. And then they still have to complete the schedule and add a couple of hopefully very attractive opponents for Memphis because they can't all be neutral courts and they can't be all away teams. You have to make that enticing with the schedule. Then what else can you do? Well, winning cures a lot of ills. It doesn't cure all of them. I think that as we move forward with this whole downtown thing and what the Grizzlies are going to end up doing, I was there for the Banana Ball. I went to the game on Saturday night when the party animals were here. We brought the grandchildren, and I'm not going off on a tangent here. I'm just trying to make a point here. And we went down there, and it was absolutely sold out, packed. I haven't seen AutoZone Park like that since when Pujols was there. Mm-hmm. You go, and then Sunday I wasn't there, but I heard it was the same thing. It was so organized outside, and they closed down certain parts of Union Avenue. And I didn't see one vagrant. I didn't see people that were sketchy. There were cops out there. It was well protected. You felt good about going downtown. And the Grizzlies were playing that night, and they had a play going on at the Orpheum. It felt great. If you can make that something where people believe in that, then more and more people will be willing to go back downtown. And you combine that with a team that plays well and wins games, you could start to get the excitement back. Will it come back completely like it was with Cal? No, maybe a Final Four run, but you're hurt also by, obviously, an NBA team. Granted, there was an NBA team back then with Cal, but Memphis was 1A, and that NBA team was really was 1B or 2.
And now we know it bothered.
Yeah, exactly. We know how it's flipped now. But I would say those obviously winning, but the other things about downtown, I was so happy with what I saw when I went down there, and maybe it's part of it's the task force or whatever the case is. We're a lot safer today than we were several years ago. Hopefully that will continue, and people will be excited again to go back downtown. And when they are, they'll be excited to buy some tickets, go to Beale Street for dinner, and then go over and watch the Tigers play.
I'll take it however we can get it. Thank you for the mayor for having it. I want to be safe, and I want us to thrive, and I want us to be able to enjoy.
Absolutely. I mean, that's the key, right? Knowing that when you go somewhere that you don't have to look over your shoulders, that you feel safe and secure, and you have a good time. Look, Memphis is a very affordable city, even though people will complain sometime about concessions and maybe parking. This is nothing. If you were in a major city, I mean, you talk about gouging you. this is a very affordable proposition. So if you got a good product, people will go. We are season ticket holders. We have been for years for the Orpheum. Yes, I got another side to me, Brett.
I know that. Love it.
And we love going there, and it's always packed. I mean, it's always packed. So people are going downtown for that.
That other side is when you go, yes, Mary, we can do that.
You know it. You know who wears the pants in the family. But I enjoy it. But the point is that those places are packed. So yeah, we could say, oh, it's because people they don't want to go downtown. Nah, that's part of it. But there's, as you said, there's many things you have to fix, and that can be fixed. We'll see where we go in the direction of the Grizzlies and what they're going to do eventually here. That's such a big part of the puzzle. But of course, winning is a big part of the puzzle as well.
Yeah, no, it absolutely is. So it's going to be a busy offseason for Tiger basketball and Tiger football on the other side. They get spring practice started on Monday, so I know we'll talk a lot more about that next week when we talk with you again. But Greg, as always, thanks so much for joining us. Enjoy your weekend, and we'll talk to you again next Thursday.
Yeah, guys, enjoy the wall-to-wall basketball. We'll talk next week.
Thanks, Greg.
We will. Thank you, Greg. Greg Gaston with us every week. We appreciate Greg so much, and you can listen to him and Eli Savoy tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock, bright and early, from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. every weekday morning right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Tomorrow afternoon, our last regular visit of the year with Jason Munns from the Commercial Appeal is presented by Jim's Place Grill. We've had him all year at 5 o'clock, and we thank him so much, and we'll have him one last time tomorrow. Jim's Place Grill right now. Fun being had by all in the terrific bar area out in Collierville. Over 100 years of charcoal grill steaks, over 100 years of celebrations and family time and lasting great memories. Right now you need to make that reservation for Easter and Easter weekend at Jim's Place. The Terrace family with their touch for our community with recipes that date back to the beginning when they were in downtown to now in Collierville at the railroad tracks at Poplar and Houston Levee. Online at jimsplacegrill.com. Don't forget the Ian Grill. Every steak grilled perfectly over an open flame. Come to Jim's Place and taste and see and feel the difference. Lunch hours Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at dinner. Dinner hours Monday through Saturday, 5 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. Since 1921, a Memphis landmark, a staple, hard work, values, and a dedication to their beloved diners. The Terrace family, they've created that memorable and lasting dining experience. At lunch, the staples like the souffle ma, the chili, the cheeseburgers, shrimp cocktail, crab cakes, and those salad dressings, all homemade at dinner. The calamari, the soups, the seafood, and the steaks, ribeyes, strips, and fillets. And the bar area is being enjoyed right now watching all the basketball when the Grizzlies are on. Same thing, all at Jim's Place Grill in Collierville.
Well, we've got two games going on right now in March Madness, both in blowout fashion right now. Arkansas up 20 on Hawaii with about 3 minutes, just under 3 minutes left in that game. Michigan State up 21 points on North Dakota State. So both those
Too early
teams,
for SEC chant from me?
Yeah, probably. I would say
chanting.
A little early there, but maybe by the end of the night you can do some SEC chanting. If the SEC continues to have success, it could be a big night.
It could be 0-3 tonight for SEC or 3-0.
Yeah, I mean,
it's three tough games.
It is, and so I mean, if it goes the nice way for the
all
SEC,
2.5 point favorites in those games.
Wow.
BYU 2.5, St. Mary's 2.5, and Georgia 2.5.
Interesting. So yeah, I mean they're going to be. I think those are three of the more intriguing games of the night. And so if they all go the SEC way, then yeah, you can be chanting SEC when you go to bed tonight. But it could go the opposite way of that.
Brian, I'm going to be straight with our audience because this is what I told you off there. Mm-hmm. I thought the first round lock was Hawaii plus 15.5.
Yeah. They can still do it.
Not so much.
They can still do it. There's still time. I mean, they can backdoor cover it, but
I didn't bet 1 cent on it.
Well, that's
and I'm glad.
That's good. Yeah, that is good. I'll be honest with you, Brett. I bet the other side of it like 20 seconds into the game when I saw how fast Arkansas was compared to Hawaii.
Wasn't it fast?
Oh no,
it was noticeable.
It was. So we'll see how this wraps up with about 2 minutes.
Well, you got a sweater coming down here.
I got it a little less. I don't remember the exact number I got it at, but I think it had dropped a tad. So I think I'm comfortable. But I don't know. I don't know exactly what the number was. I learned this app that I have, or that I was using for this bet, it doesn't warn you when the odds or the line changes. If you're trying to make a bet and the line changes, tough. You're stuck with that line. So for the entire second half of the Duke game, I thought I had Duke minus 5.5. They win by 6, and I was like, oh, that was easy. And then come to find out, it had moved, I guess, when I was placing the bet. It was 6.5, so I lost. So,
what's that?
It's something. I wasn't a fan of it, but
they always have some gimmick.
Hey, that's above my pay grade. I'm just the pawn that plays the books. So that one's on me. We got a couple games coming up. Obviously, a very busy night. But the next game up, 5:50, VCU and North Carolina. Right now, North Carolina, a 2.5-point favorite. That game going to be on TNT. And then once the 6 o'clock hour gets started, then we will have a bunch of games starting off and getting started throughout the rest of the night. But we need to get to a break. Before we do that, let me remind you about our 5 o'clock sponsor. It's Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City. They have a phenomenal team that can help you with any of your needs, any of your questions, because they have been the premier Jaguar dealership for the greater Memphis area since 1984. Swing by Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City today and check out those brand new models like the Range Rover Sport, the Range Rover Velar, and the Defender. Test drive the Range Rover Sport, where luxury meets performance. It's a perfect mix of style, performance, and versatility with options ranging from 360 horsepower up to 635. It's also available as a plug-in hybrid electric vehicle with $7,500 federal tax credit when leased with approved credit. Take a look at the Range Rover Velar, powered by mild hybrid technology and enhanced with the latest well-being features and fully connected entertainment system. The Range Rover Velar is the ultimate luxury compact crossover. Purchase yours today and get special 4.4% for 72 months financing available with approved credit. Don't forget about the Defender, available in multiple models to fit your needs. The Defender is built for the modern explorer, and Jaguar Bluff City is offering special interest rates for 60 and 72 months on various models. Give them a call, 877-259-6169. Go online to JaguarBluffCity.com. But head out there, test drive all these vehicles. 6335 Wheel Cove, just off of Quince, for Bluff City Jaguar. Well, let's go ahead and get to another break, and when we return, we'll talk about what's trending.
You have opinions?
I think it's over.
Of course you do.
I don't think it's that simple.
Everyone does.
I got all the answers.
Hit us up on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener line at 360-8255.
Remember when a spring day meant sunshine, animals, and nowhere you had to be? At the Memphis Zoo, spring break is the perfect excuse to get outside and explore. Meet adorable new animal babies, hop aboard the zoo train, take a spin on the carousel, or soar above the zoo on the zip line. Discover new foods and retail along the way, and grab a classic Motorama souvenir. Bring the kids, meet friends, or enjoy a quiet afternoon. The Memphis Zoo, creating adventures, saving wildlife.
Hey everybody, great news. All-Star Chevy right here in Olive Branch is hosting a huge truck month sale. Supplier prices for everyone. Save thousands. Nobody has more Silverados than All-Star. Today, you could drive home a new Equinox, Trailblazer, Trax, Blazer, or go big with a new Silverado HD and make no payments for 90 days. You're going to love no payments all through the spring and into the summer, and financing as low as 1.9. And your good credit deserves it. Military and first responders, you get an extra $500 bonus. So test drive one of these barely driven, certified, or pre-owned All-Star Chevys. You're not going to find any more in the same place at the same time anywhere. Guaranteed. Tahoes, Suburbans, Chevy Express passenger van, tons of Silverados. Plus, bring any vehicle you want and sell it here at All-Star Chevy in Olive Branch and get the most money for it today. Together, let's drive. Don't miss the truck month sale going on now in Olive Branch at All-Star Chevrolet, or go to allstarautogroup.com.
This is Sheldon Rosengarten with Mark's Ben Store Realtors, and I'm with Julie Mullamary, also with Mark's Ben Store Realtors. Julie, you've been in real estate almost your entire life, having started in South Florida in your family's firm. But more importantly, as the Florida's high school state champion in golf and playing for Florida Gulf Coast, I needed your opinion on my golf game.
Sheldon, you are a pro when it comes to selling real estate and representing buyers, but as far as your golf game, I've seen better swings on the playground.
Thanks a lot, Julie. We both know the score, though. Selling real estate requires a high degree of skill off the course, and both of us do have that. So if you're thinking of selling your home, remember, making real estate easy is Julie. Julie Mullamary, 305-0112.
And when you want the job done, call Shell Done at 483-0546 or memphisrelocate.com. That's memphisrelocate.com or 483-0546.
Memphis is a love song to soul and style. With the full suite of sought-after designers, brilliant natural diamonds, an elegant bar, luxury VIP lounge, and more, a trip to our store is an experience like no other. Just like the city we love. Stop by any of our stores or visit sissyslogcabin.com and experience Sissy's for yourself. Memphis is our home, and we're your jeweler.
Sissy's Log Cabin, because life's too short for ordinary jewelry.
This traffic report brought to you by City Center Liquor, just off Highway 70 in Lakeland. Local, friendly, and always fully stocked. For a 5% discount, tell them Sports 56 sent you.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. A couple of accidents in their clean stages. Still a lot of volume right now. Pretty much on schedule for this time of day on 40 going eastbound as you push on out into Fayette County. And still a bit of volume over here at 240 east and west up by Poplar and Walnut Grove. Hey, that low-cost drive-through vaccine clinic, it's back Saturday at the Humane Society of Memphis Shelby County at 935 Farm Road. Check them out online for all the details. memphishumane.org. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Well, we just talked about those two games, now both final as both commanding wins. Arkansas 97-78 over Hawaii, Michigan State 92-67 over North Dakota State. So no games going on at this very moment.
I got nothing on
No, nothing on. I mean, you got to wait another about almost 20 minutes for the next game between VCU and North Carolina. That one's set to tip at 5:50 on TNT. Then we'll have Howard, Michigan, 6:10 on CBS. Texas BYU, 6:25 on TBS. Texas A&M St. Mary's, 6:35 on True TV. So, while we have this kind of lull, you're about to get 4 games coming back up in the next hour. So I
won't no lull.
It's
we used to have it when they throw it to local CBS affiliates for the news. We don't need any lull.
No, we don't. We don't need it, but we're getting it right now.
Are you checking out the Arkansas box score? They played 7 men. One of the 7 played 1 minute. The other 6, the fewest minutes played was DJ Wagner with 30 minutes played, and he is really playing his best ball this last week and a half, 2 weeks. 30 minutes for Wagner, 31 for Ewan and Billy Richmond III from Memphis, 35 for Brazil and Malik Thomas and Darius Acuff. Just putting him on his back, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
36 minutes, 24 points, 7 assists. What a player.
Yeah, no, he is really fun to watch, and Arkansas has figured out who they have and what they have on this team at the right time, and kind of going with just this core of guys, and they're making it work. They're super
Wisconsin
athletic.
may have made them pay for that. I don't know that High Point can.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good question, and we'll find out on Saturday. But at least in this game against Hawaii and in a lot of those games in the SEC tournament, I mean, they just upped the tempo, and those guys were able to go, and they all have really great chemistry with one another. I love Malik Ewan. I thought that was a huge addition by Arkansas in the offseason. He gave them some really nice minutes with a double-double today. I talked earlier about Trevon Brazile. I think he's really the X factor on both ends of the court. And then you know what you're going to get from Acuff. You know what you're going to get from Malik Thomas. And then it's kind of plug and play with Billy Richmond and DJ Wagner. You feel like you're going to get some really nice minutes from both those guys, or at least one of those guys, every given night. So right now they're locked in. Now, on the flip side of that, we've seen some really rough games from Malik Ewan. We've seen some really rough games from Trevon Brazile. Can they continue with this? It looked really good in the SEC tournament. It looked really good today. Can this continue on Saturday and into the Sweet 16 if they get there into next week? Those are going to be the big questions.
Brian, do we know next week for the West Regional, or for any of the regionals, West Regional, is that Thursday, Saturday, or Friday, Sunday next week?
I couldn't tell you. I have no clue.
And I'm sorry for asking you a loaded question that I don't have the answer to either. But I ask it for this reason. I just wonder with Arkansas, and they can afford it.
Mm-hmm.
They're already left coast. Do you stay and head to San Jose, or do you back to Fayetteville, back to?
Yeah, it's a good question. I really don't know. I think,
and for that matter, at High Point, I don't know their books, but I would think all the way back to North Carolina, and if they won, if they won all the way back home, then back out to San Jose.
Yeah, it's a good question, and I'm sure different programs are different with how they treat it. So I really don't know what these teams do. I'm sure probably come back and then go out somewhere, but I'm sure it also depends on where those regions are, how far they are, what that budget looks like. It's a lot of questions. I mean, it's not just the on the court basketball. There are other questions that have to be answered. So I really don't know the answer to that, but it was an impressive win by the Razorbacks, to say the least.
Arkansas already installed as a 12.5-point favorite on Saturday against High Point.
All right. Well, that'll be a fun game. We'll see how it falls out. You talk about some lines already set. The only other line that I'm seeing right now, Duke, an 11.5-point favorite over TCU in the next round on Saturday. That's the 1 versus 9. So we'll see if Duke looks better on Saturday than what they did earlier today against Siena, when it was got a little scary there for the Blue Devils, especially at halftime, down double digits.
Yeah, Arkansas, they win 97-78. If you're driving home, you hadn't caught the finals. Michigan State 92-67 over North Dakota State. Vanderbilt by 10, 78-68 over McNeese. Duke 71-65 over Siena. High Point in the upset, the biggest upset of the day, 83-82 over Wisconsin. Louisville wins 83-79 over South Florida. Nebraska mauls Troy 76-47, and TCU in a back-and-forth great game. They win by 2 over the Buckeyes, 66-64.
We were talking about the Tigers with Greg Gaston, obviously, and it feels, and we kind of mentioned it yesterday, it feels like pretty soon we'll get some news on assistant coaches and what have you. What do you think that timeline looks like? I mean, today's Thursday. When do you think we hear something about assistants?
I think fairly quick. I think it's going to come together quick, and I think there's been a lot done. The work didn't start yesterday at the press conference. Definitely. I think a lot of back channel, organizational things, some administrative things. It's been ongoing. I'm not so sure. I can't prove this, and I would love to know. I think they probably have it narrowed down for GM, maybe even has been some consultation with the GM on things going forward. But we're going forward, and that's what we're going to do, and we hope it works out. And this time next year, we're talking about the Tigers out at one of these sites and moving on.
Yeah, no, definitely. You would love to look up either today or tomorrow next year and be talking about playing in a first-round game and hopefully a win in the first-round game. I was also very surprised with all of the reaction last night about and I don't remember exactly how it was laid out, but Jason Munn's tweet that was going around about the AI program that Penny Hardaway, that they're getting Penny Hardaway and a professor together with. I was surprised. I mean, it felt like a lot of negative reaction to that nationally, and I was surprised by that. I think it's smart by Memphis and Penny Hardaway.
I do too, and I mean use every single tool out there, and look, it's out there to be used. Do it all. It's that age old debate. Are you just the sabermetrics, or do you have some feel? You want to have both.
Sure, and I think it maybe got taken out of context of what this really was. I mean, when you see AI and professor on campus and college basketball coach, I mean, it can get
Brian,
very confusing.
First poor performance by, say, new player it's brought in. Was that the guy the professor picked?
Sure, yeah, no,
get ready for that.
It's going to be
that snark's going to happen.
Of course. But, I mean, all this is there is a probably coding professor on campus that has put together some sort of system that all it is it's just like any other website when you look up players and stats, where Penny Hardaway can go in and say, give me, like Greg Gasson said just 15 minutes ago, of, hey, I need a 6'5" guy wing that shoots 38% from three and has under, 2.5 turnovers per game. And it spits out a list of 7 or 8 guys that fit those categories, and then Penny Hardaway can look more into that and then really go out and scout those guys.
And you really like to go to a lot of those sites that are already doing that.
Yeah, and it's just making it kind of easier and more streamlined to just go in and say, I want this. And it pops up instead of having to do the digging and trying to find it.
Big 3-ring binders. Those days are over.
No, and it's out there. And I know I forgot who I saw point this out, but it was good that the Charlotte Hornets started utilizing AI and different things like that for the draft, and that's one reason they went out and targeted Con Knippel, is because when they were kind of saying, this is exactly what we need for our team, let me do it this way. Con Knippel popped up, and they said, this is a guy that, once they did more scouting and you really kind of looked at him, they said, this is a guy that can really fit, and look what he's doing this year. He has had a terrific season, and, that Charlotte Hornets team is improving.
Do you feel momentum headed toward people wanting Acuff as a Grizzly?
Yeah, I definitely think he's a popular name and one that a lot of people are latching on to, but I don't think it's just here. I think he's a very popular name right now because of what he's doing, the numbers he's putting up, being SEC and being on television and in front of a lot of people. He is the popular player right now.
And Calipari carrying the flag.
Yeah, and it's good.
John Calipari's proven point guard play of his players.
That's a good point. You can just look through the NBA and see a lot of ball handlers that
one just got his number retired by the Chicago Bulls.
Yeah, it's the other just won MVP. It's a long list, and it's some really good guys. It's not just good guys, it's great players, and so I think all of that is making him really popular. We talked about it a week or two ago. It feels like at least the top 3 guards have had, probably top 4 guards have had that moment this season where they have shot up the draft boards. Everyone's talking about them. Everybody wants them on their team. Kingston Flemings has had it. Keaton Wagler has had it. Mikel Brown had it at the very start of the season. It really feels like this has been the time for Darius Acuff, where he's playing extremely well. He's on TV a lot. Everyone's kind of starting to look at him and say, this can be a guy that can take over the league. So yeah, he's a really popular name right now, and I think it's only gonna grow and become stronger for him.
I've got some great news. All-Star Chevy right there in Olive Branch on Highway 78. They're hosting a huge truck month sale. Supplier prices for everyone. Save thousands. Nobody with more Silverados than at All-Star. First exit into Mississippi. Take Kraft Goodman Road. You're there. Today you can drive home. Tomorrow, first thing in the morning, you can drive home in a new Equinox, Trailblazer, Trax Blazer, or go big in a new Silverado HD. No payments for 90 days. You're going to love no payments all through spring into summer. Financing as low as 1.9 at All-Star. Your good credit deserves it. And Drew DePriest and his great team, they deliver. They always deliver. And appreciate so much military and first responders. Instant extra $500 bonus. Test drive one of All-Star's hottest, barely driven, certified Chevys or pre-owned you'll find in the same place at the same time anywhere in our area. Suburbans, Tahoes, a Chevy Express passenger van, tons of Silverados. Bring any vehicle you want to sell to All-Star in Olive Branch and get the most money back for it, whether you bought it there or not. They'll do you right on your trade. Together, let's drive down Highway 78 to All-Star. Don't miss the truck month sale going on now in Olive Branch at All-Star Chevrolet. And you can always check out more from the great people at All-Star by going to allstarautogroup.com.
Let's get to our final break of the day. When we return, we'll wrap up today's show with Moe's Crunch Time.
Did you miss your favorite Sports 56 show? No! Check out the podcast, broken down hourly at sports56whbq.com or wherever you get your podcasts. Be sure to like and subscribe. Never miss any Sports 56 show again with our podcasts available daily from Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Guns, guns, and more guns. Over 700 firearms in stock. Home defense guns, old guns, new guns, used guns, big guns, little guns. Every gun you can think of, Classic Arms has them. All brands like Glock, Sig, Colt, Ruger, Smith & Wesson, Browning, Beretta, Benelli, Remington, Winchester, and more. Guaranteed lowest prices in town. Only gun importer in the Mid-South. Free gun inspections and appraisals and free bore sighting for the upcoming deer season. Shop online at ClassicArmsOfMemphis.com or visit Classic Arms at 1740 Germantown Parkway behind Corky's Barbecue in Cordova.
Since 1948, in the alley, the Rendezvous. I'm with John Burgos. John, what's going on in the Rendezvous?
Brett, there's some things about the Rendezvous I want to talk about. For example, we make it really easy to park. We have valet parking right at Monroe Street in our alley. We also want to make it easy for people to get to-go orders. You can now park in our alley right at our front door and put your flashers on. People also forget that we take reservations for 6 or more. And we have a wonderful party room upstairs that can accommodate people for rehearsal dinners, birthday parties, reunions, graduations. Our rooms seat between 25 and 275 people. And everything at the Rendezvous can be packed to go. Brett, we also do catering. See our menu online, and we can even deliver for groups of 15 or more. So if you have any questions, always feel free to call us at the Rendezvous because we answer our phone ourselves. You'll never hear, please listen carefully for our menu has changed. Press 1 for reservations, press 2 for hours, press 3 for catering, or if you know your party's 9-digit extension number and the first 3 letters of their mother's maiden name, dial it now. Come see us at the Rendezvous.
Since 1948, the Rendezvous.
Spring is in the air and Bobby J is ready to put you in a new Kia today from Gossett Kia on the Pike. Take your pick, 2026 Kia Sorento LX or 2026 Kia Sportage Hybrid LX. Your choice, $297 a month. That's less than a latte a day for a new ride. How about new 2027 Kia Telluride S front-wheel drive? Only $479 a month. All 24-month lease, $39.99 due at signing. And all 2026 EV9s now $12,000 off or 0% for 60 months available. Plus, you always get peace of mind with Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Come see Bobby J and get your new Kia today at Gossett Kia, 1900 Covington Pike, online, KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
Sorento TG 414140, MSRP 34030, Sportage T 7271780, MSRP 31865, Telluride SVGO 19639, MSRP 45540. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must finance through KFA. Excludes tax title license. Dealer stock only. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 3/31/2026.
Rebel Nation, get the latest on everything Ole Miss sports with the Cannon Motors of Mississippi Rebel Yell Hotline. Join Rebel insiders Chuck Rounsville, Yancey Porter, and Gary Darby Monday nights at 6 as they break down the latest with the Rebels, along with even more insight from special guests. Rebel Yell Hotline, Mondays at 6 p.m. on WHBQ.
Stay up to date with everything going on in Ole Miss athletics with Rebel Yell Hotline every Monday night from 6 to 7 on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Progressive knows there are some surprisingly expensive things in life, like rugs. People say a rug would really bring the room together. And sure, you don't know what that means, but it sounds important. Suddenly you're using words like jute and sisal, then you see the price and lose it, because how can the thing you walk and spill on cost so much? So you devote your life to taking down Big Rug. But then you remember that switching your home and auto to Progressive could save you hundreds. So, looks like Big Rug is safe. For now. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Hi, I'm Parker Trotz with NST Injury Attorneys. For over 35 years, we've fought for Memphis families and won big. If you've been injured, the call is free, and you don't pay unless you win. NST is the way to go. Call 683-7000.
Crunch Time is brought to you by Moe's Southwest Grill. Need catering? Moe's Taco Truck is always ready to cater for you. Just give Jenny Nash a call at 901-606-3172. Moe's.com is your go-to for all your taco crunch time emergencies.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
This is pretty cool, and we're just getting started.
Spanning the globe.
Go crazy, folks! Go crazy! This game has always been called the world's greatest cocktail party. Do you know what is going to happen here tonight?
This is for all the biggest Crunch Time. You are looking live. In your life have you seen anything like that?
Crunch time between the hedges.
The ball game is over, and Memphis has its first win in 16 tries. Its first win ever against its fierce in-state rival Tennessee.
Goodbye! Hello, Haskins. It's a crunch time.
Hammer, nail, coffin. This baby is over.
Crunch Time is brought to you by Moe's Southwest Grill. Need a crunchy bite to eat? Head to Moe's for nachos, crunch wraps, tacos, salads, and more. Moe's.com. It's your go-to for all your taco crunch time emergencies. Well, what I learned today, all the madness of March has begun, but the big story so far today has been the upset by High Point over Wisconsin. They got the win. They were a 10.5-point favorite when the game started, but they were able to defeat Wisconsin, advance to the next round. Now we know that matchup will be against Arkansas in the second round, so we'll see if they can win another game, but it has been fun already with a lot of storylines. It started last night with that win by Miami, Ohio. Now is rolled in today with another mid-major, and their coach let everybody know about it after the game, saying that those mid-majors, they can beat high-major teams, and his team did it earlier today with a win over Wisconsin.
What I learned today, and I don't want to get too very preachy about it because brackets can get humbling and trying to find that upset can cut both ways. But I don't know how anybody really, having watched, and we watch it closely because of the American, because of the Tigers, I don't know how anybody had South Florida beating Louisville even without Michael Brown. Yes, it was a great comeback for South Florida. They made it a lot closer, but Louisville was in control most of the day. Even without him, I don't know why people would be enamored by South Florida. We watched him close. Now, and my excuse for maybe missing on an upset way away. Well, we don't watch those teams as closely. We watch South Florida win a really bad league.
Yeah, South Florida was good this year. I don't want to take anything away from South Florida. I mean, that was a good team this year. I don't want to take anything away from a loss in March against Louisville, because I do think South Florida had some good players. It just, it won today, and it was against a really, really good Louisville.
They definitely have a great coach.
Oh, they have an unbelievable coach, and that's a really good Louisville team, and they deserve a lot of credit for that win, especially without Mikel Brown. What I could have done without today, it's the story with Giannis. I mean, I really do not understand it, but it feels like we're getting close to the end for Giannis Antetokounmpo in his time in Milwaukee. Oh, I'm sure and if it's not there, it's New York. I mean, it's gonna be one of these big places, but it's just a very weird situation. He's injured right now, and I really don't even know what the timeline looks like for a return, but for whatever reason, Milwaukee just wants to go out and go ahead and say that he's going to be out the rest of the year. Giannis doesn't want to be out the rest of the year and is saying, if there is time for me to go back out there and play, I want to be able to go out there and do it. It's just a very bizarre story between Milwaukee and Giannis. At one point, we thought those two were in love and they were going to stay in love forever, and oh man, it has gone the complete opposite direction. In sports, it's hard for it to last forever. Yeah, it really is. Anything, good or bad. Hard for it to last forever. I could have done without. What are the Grizzlies winning for last night, Landon? Were you the good luck charm? We don't need wins.
I certainly hope I wasn't.
Yeah, we want more ping pong balls. We don't want any wins. But you got to be kidding me that Denver's going to end the Jokic years and only win it once. Usually in the NBA, championship comes in bunches. Mm-hmm. There's outlier that they're going to have one. Yeah, no, it is. Dallas only had one. Yeah, that's true. Where are you beaming tonight? Beam me to Losertown, Buffalo. Don't look now at the hockey standings, though. This might be the Sabres' year in Losertown. But give me Buffalo tonight for Michigan and Howard, and then UGA against SLU. I thought you were beaming to a Sabres game the way you set that up. I was confused. I was like, I don't know. I sent you hockey picks last night. You did, and they were one beautiful. Of my nephews at the Garden for the Rangers, and who's the other team they were playing? I don't know who they were playing last night. Actually, I wasn't paying attention. I was paying attention to the games in Dayton, so I missed who they played last night. But beam me, let's go to this game later tonight between Georgia and St. Louis. 8:45 tonight on CBS, another 8-9 matchup. Hopefully it's just as good as that first 8-9 matchup between TCU and Ohio State. All right, tonight SEC, let's see what you have. Let's see. It's out there tonight, Red Hot Lakers in Chicago. Versus Miami tonight. They're in Miami tonight, aren't they?
Yeah, that's right. It's going to be a fun night. All the basketball action, as we mentioned it. We had that little lull in there, but now it really gets started with a bunch of games. VCU, North Carolina underway. 3 more start before 7 o'clock, so it will be a lot of college basketball. We also have the NBA, like Brett mentioned, so it should be a really fun night around the world of hoops. But that's all the time we have. Enjoy the rest of your night. We'll talk to you again tomorrow afternoon.
Kubota Orange Days are here, so come see them Friday, April 3rd, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Saturday, April 4th from 8 until noon at First Choice Farm and Lawn. And be sure to join me, Johnny Radio from Sports 56, Friday, April 3rd.